on. Chinny chin chin.
Since 2018, the Lindale Football Eagles have graced their school and community with 4 straight visits to the postseason, which includes their first ever trip to the 4A state championship game in Arlington just 2 years ago, averaging almost 10 wins a year in the same span. This year's Eagles are riding behind one of the most experienced and strongest offensive lines in the state, expecting to protect one of the deepest collection of running backs in District 9 4A. Along with a heavy dose of defensive weapons and D-line play stoppers from a year ago, the 2022 Lindale Eagles have loaded themselves with high expectations and a will to attack each week head-on. OnTheCall.net presents the 2022 Lindale Eagles and District 9 4A High School Football. Tonight's game broadcast is made possible by the generosity and outstanding community support from Alford's Tire Brake and Alignment. For tires, brakes, alignment, and accessories, don't put your safety at risk. Beeler Roofing, residential and commercial roofing and repairs for over 40 years. Office Barn, celebrating 22 years as East Texas' only new and used office furniture superstore. Marucci Elite East Texas, coaching up thousands of baseball and softball athletes of all ages to the next level. Frieden Enterprises and Ironworks Freelance Web Design, making it simple for customers to know you. Rose City Air, honestly educating their customers on the most efficient way to maintain their HVAC systems. Brisket Love Barbecue and Ice House, serving the highest quality barbecue with backyard hospitality. Come for the food, stay for the experience. Eagle Chiropractic, Dr. Shane Allen, making you stronger every day by adding years to life and life to years. Doc Deason, Real Edge Real Estate, creating new home dreams for families for over 17 years. And Root Construction, providing custom construction solutions through integrity-based principles and follow-through. Let's head down to the Root Construction press box for tonight's broadcast with Kenny Smith, Coach Alan Phillips, and Stuart Campion.
Well, I don't know about y'all, but it seems like every darn year these two football teams end up trying to match up at a point in the season where it's always a legitimate playoff scenario situation. Well, Lindale and Chapel Hill are right there right now, fighting for the number 2, number 3, possibly spots in this playoff picture, depending on what happens to Kilgore the rest of the season. After the loss to the Bulldogs a week ago, the Lindale Eagles come across town to Chapel Hill to try to take down the Bulldogs of Chapel Hill. Good evening, everybody, and a welcome to another edition of Lindale Eagle Football. Kenny Smith, Coach Alan Phillips, Stuart Campion by my side. We're high atop the visitor press box and barely out for pink out night at Bulldog Stadium, and we're trying our best to throw to you another matchup which will be much as intense as it was a week ago against the Bulldogs of Kilgore. Chapel Hill coming off an impressive win a week ago, and Lindale Eagles are fighting back into it and will play just as athletic a ball club as Kilgore, but not quite as big. And the Eagles are pretty darn hungry, according to Chris Cochran. We will get to him coming up next. Lindale Eagle football continues from Bulldog Stadium in Chapel Hill. Coach Chris Cochran in pregame coming up next.
Hey, Doc Deason here, Lindale class of 1990 with Real Edge Real Estate in Tyler. You can find me online at docdeasonrealestate.com. You know, after this summer, anything associated with fall is going to be welcome throughout the season, especially Lindale High School football. It's an honor for me to again partner with my friend of 30 years, your play-by-play man, Kenny Smith. There's nothing in this country quite like Texas high school football, and you need to know we're partaking in a legendary pastime right now. But when the game's over, if you need some help with real estate, give me a shout. Don't hesitate. 903-262-8680. That's 262-8680. Again, I'm fellow Eagle Doc Deason. Thanks for listening.
The summer of 2022 has been tough on everyone, especially those that were without a top-performing HVAC system. Rose City Air was created by Will Decker and Heath Willingham after they experienced plenty of too little, too late scenarios, with two objectives in mind: service and educate consumers on the most efficient ways to maintain a healthy AC unit correctly the first time and eliminate the anxiety of second and third opinions and repairs. Rose City Air takes the time to show you the complexities of maintaining a top-notch HVAC system while the estimate and assessment is being done. Rose City Air's free estimates, 24-hour no-hassle emergency services, low-cost maintenance agreements, and discounts for veterans, first responders, and educators are why Rose City Air wants to service your home or business whenever the need arises. 903-630-4343 or go to rosecityairtx.com.
Well, we got a big dose of the big guys a week ago at home against Kilgore. And Chris, let's start with that first of all, because I think Alan and I were more amazed the fact that nobody got toted off the field on some type of hard board or stretcher or something. Man, that was a physical darn football game a week ago. And you had mentioned to me about the Peyton Christian 24 before, a couple of days before the game, about watch this guy. He's for real. He's their leading tackler. He's this. But those guys are pretty scary. So because the resiliency really worked out for you guys in the second half, but health-wise, man, how sore was everybody Saturday morning?
It really wasn't as bad. I mean, I'm the same way as what you just said. It wasn't as bad as what I thought. We were delivering blows. They were delivering blows. I think it was a normal football game where people are pretty sore, but like Clint, he took some pretty good hits. He actually, the next morning was okay, except for the fact that we lost. He was hurting about that more so than anything else, but it was a physical battle. They got us more than we got them, and it will help us to be better. I think this week's been a good week because the guys didn't like the result. So, but it really, I was so proud of, sickened by the loss. I'll say that first and foremost, but proud of our kids in the way that they were. The word is resilient. They did believe. At halftime, I told them, hey, you're a bunch of fighters. That's who I'm looking at. I'm looking in the eyes of a bunch of fighters. And so, I was proud of them because they did. I mean, we're we end up being in the thing, you know, and it wasn't, we didn't start the second half very good defensively, you know, so we really got ourselves in a hole, but continue to fight back, and we're able, if you can kick an onside kick in the fourth quarter, you know that you've at least fought back enough to have a chance, you know, to try to go win the game, even though it's an outside chance. So they battled and they fought their tails off, so we're proud of them for that.
Okay, the fact that you didn't come out with any injuries in this ball game, and the health of the team right now going into Chapel Hill and things, everything progressing okay, going back to Christian Weidman, Levi Thornton, some of the bangs, because both running backs too. I mean, I know it's got to get a little nervous for everybody when Devin and Patrick are carrying the football. As hard as they ran Friday night, though, they did deliver some shots and things. Is everybody bruised free or right now injury free?
Actually, yeah, I would say. I mean, I've been pleased with that. You know, we have some bumps and bruises, some twisted ankles and stuff. Jay Kerbo's going through a little bit of an ankle deal. Carson Plunkett, banged up knee, you know, but they've practiced all week. We're trying to manage that and make sure, you know, or we've tried to manage that to make sure that, you know, they're good to go, you know, and they'll be great tonight. So, you know, I think we do a good job of that. Training staff, Ryan Wilhelm, I mean, he's phenomenal in what he does. I tell the kids all the time, he's the best in the state, you know, and our kids love him, trust him, you know, believe in him, and, you know, he takes his job very seriously, and he's proud to be a Lindale Eagle. So, yeah, we're good to go, and we're excited about it.
Okay, well, we got to get an update on Kason Watts, too, because we had a great moment with him this past Friday with the fact that he had just got out of surgery. We were able to talk to him a bit because he was listening to the ball game as well. Has he shown his presence throughout this week, too? And tell me how his progress is going.
He has gotten better every day. I've checked with him. I texted him on Monday morning, and, you know, he wanted to be at school. Doctor wouldn't let him come back till Wednesday. So he came back Wednesday morning, and he's doing better each and every day. He says, Coach, it's you know, the pain gets less and less each day, just like you would think. And, you know, he's got a smile on his face. I know deep down that, you know, that's masking it a little bit, you know, the same way as Nashad. Those guys put a smile on their face, and they're scooting around the school and the hallways and all that in the locker room, practice. You know, they're excited about, or they want to believe that they want people to believe that they're excited about being, you know, being here. And so I appreciate that. I mean, two phenomenal young men, and just great hearts, you know, and I'm proud to be their coach, and just hate that it happened the way that it did.
Oh, yeah. Well, speaking of big hearts, because Brandon Petway's name has come up so many times over the last few weeks and things, you've got some changes on the offensive line, too. Talk about those changes and maybe what kind of a factor this guy has been on inspiring some of the coaches and things about his story.
Yeah. You know, just to talk about the situation first, and then I can get to Brandon. You know, we felt like Corey Watts has been playing defensive line some, but we felt like we needed some more help up front. If we're going to be the team that we need to be, we've got to improve it at the defensive line and just add depth. Other guys are doing a good job. They're playing hard. We just need some more depth at the defensive line. And so, you know, just it's coaches that want to win, you know, and are willing to do whatever it takes. So Jacob Alford, you know, been coaching Corey Watts since he got here, you know, and Corey Watts is one of his guys. But he came to me on Monday and said, Coach, I want to win. I don't care how we do that. I just want to win. So if y'all need to use Corey more, do it. Feel free. Corey's still going to play offensive line, but Brandon, getting to him, he's the reason that we're able to say that, you know. He moved here last year. He was a young man that moved from Gilmer, and the spring of Brandon's sophomore year was done with football. Didn't want to do it. Did not want to play. And so, you know, I don't know all the details of that, but I know him and his brother Christian showed up with their dad. They've got a younger brother that's a freshman. They showed up right before tour days and came in and met us, and they were fired up to be Lindale Eagles. And Brandon, he's a success story because he worked really hard. He power lifted and really bought into that. He lost some weight where he was able to move better. And then Casey goes out beginning of the year instead of Brandon, and he's gotten better and better and better. And so now our offensive line coach is able to come to me and say, Coach, y'all need to use Corey Watts. Use him. I can still use him 50% of the time, and y'all can use him, 75% of the time, and he will be just fine. And so Corey's pumped. We're very proud of Brandon and thankful that he's, like I said, I tell him all the time. Almost every week I try to look him in the eyes and tell him, I'm glad you're a Lindale Eagle. Yeah. He smiles real big and gives me a hug. So that's pretty cool.
And how important, I guess, or how valuable are those intangibles when it comes to the leaders on your team, to where you can go to them at any time, or you already have those expectations set, but they meet or exceed those expectations, where you've got guys that just step up and do whatever it is you ask?
Yeah, I honestly believe that this school, these young men, the intangibles that you're talking about, just the work ethic, the competitiveness, I just think that the young men I get to work with far exceed any others, and I know there's great young men everywhere. I'm not downplaying that, I believe that. But I think that I have a great job because of the young men that I get to coach, so it goes a long way. And I bet I could name 75% if I went down the roster. I could give you that intangible that young man brings to the table, almost every single one of them within a split second, because they all bring something to the table that just means something. Like as I'm talking, I'm thinking like Cade Hottie. He's not a starter. He wasn't even on the varsity to start the season, but the way he smiles every single day and how much fun he has while he's at practice, I feed off that as the head coach. I feed off that, so that's just one example of, that's that spark, that he's able to provide. And I think each one of them are able to do that. And I count it a privilege to get to coach them.
Yeah. All right. Well, Chapel Hill, obviously, I think even going all the way back to Thomas Sitton days, they're always packed with athletes, with guys that are fast. They've got this young quarterback who it's going to be, end up like the Athens quarterback or Ty Arroyo, where it seems like he's going to be a 5-year starter. But Brisbane's he's got some hops, he's got some runs, he can throw the ball too. What are the things you got to do, the keys to the game for tonight?
Yeah, defensively, it's tackle the running back, number 4, Ricky Stewart. I went blank on his last name. Yeah. And Brisbane. I think the two of them, he throws it, but they don't throw it a lot. Like, they don't throw it near as much as they have in the past. So it's more like 75% run, So we just believe that's who they want to be. So we got to take that away. Those are their two main guys. They're trying to do their best to spread the ball out. But when Ricky Stewart gets his hands on the ball, he's special. I mean, he's a Division I running back. As a sophomore, you can see that. It's very similar to Jordan Jenkins. You just knew, even when he was young, he's a Division I guy, and so we got to tackle him. We got to be physical up front on the offensive line and defensive line. We kind of got whipped a little bit last week, so I think we need to get our confidence back, and that needs to happen tonight. And, I would say we've got to, and I feel like I say this a lot, but we got to take care of the ball offensively. We got to take away the ball defensively. If we can do those things majority of the time, if you can win up front, be physical up front, and then win the turnover battle, you're going to win the game. So hopefully that's what we can do tonight.
Okay, well, I'd see you guys working on different scenarios, special teams-wise, on Thursdays and things. Because it's become such an intricate part of the game anymore, do you guys work on stripping the football, causing turnovers, not just stripping the football, but hitting correctly or trying to tackle to try to jar the ball? Are there drills you guys do to try to create turnovers?
We do it every single day. Literally every single day this entire season. I'm not saying that we've always done that, but this season, since day one, we start practice with at least one period defensively. We just call it takeaway circuit. Yeah. And then offensively, they call it ball security circuit. And we address it in almost every team meeting. And we want to, defensively, we want to take 3. That's what we say. And so that's why when there is a turnover, and there hasn't been near as many, when we do take the ball away, and hopefully we can get on a roll, as we get into this part of the season. This is when you want to anyway, but that's when you're able to see on the sideline, it erupts, just because we have placed such an emphasis on it, and then, we still got to work on taking care of the football, and that sometimes that's a decision by a quarterback, that's catching the ball as a receiver, so there's different circuits each and every day, and we basically rotate each one station per day. Okay. Where, it's a ball security, it's running through the blaster, taking care of the football when you're running through contact, it's going up and getting a ball at a high point over a receiver as the receivers do. Defensively, it's a, what we call a 2-man strip. So, we've got him engaged, we're running our feet well, and the next guy that shows up, he's got to lift and punch the ball out. He's got to strip the ball. We work, finding a screen as a defensive line. You got to, okay, I'm rushing. This is way too easy. Oh, it's a screen. I got to go retrace and find where they're trying to, throw the ball to. So we even work on how to recover a fumble, and that's something that we worked on early on, took a little break from it, and now we're back on it, And so we do all those things just to make sure that there are no stones left unturned, in that area.
Well, big night tonight, man. We're back on the road, and hopefully everything will go in your favor, man. Have fun, okay?
Yes, sir. We're going to do it. Okay. I'm excited.
Yeah, we all are. Chapel Hill in Lindale week. Alan Phillips will start breaking down pregame coming up next with OnTheCall.net.
Backing the Lindale football Eagles now as he did back then. Eagle Chiropractic is owned and operated by former Lindale Eagles center, Dr. Shane Allen. A class of 1989 graduate, Dr. Allen is an expert in chiropractic and nutritional health counseling. His expertise in these areas assist him in helping patients reduce and even eliminate migraine headaches, neck pain, back pain, and joint pain of all levels, both acute and chronic. Eagle Chiropractic offers therapeutic exercises, nutritional supplements, and analgesic creams, along with educational consultations and follow-up to assure continued support and confidence in a healthy lifestyle that is pain-free. Eagle Chiropractic, Highway 69 in Lindale, open Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or Saturdays. Call for an appointment and consultation at 903-881-5172. Eagle Chiropractic, making people better every day.
I got a feeling there's a possibility, Dr. Dr. Shane would love to be out here playing football right now. Welcome back to Bulldog Stadium tonight in Chapel Hill, Texas. Kenny Smith, Coach Alan Phillips, and, of course, Stuart Campion by my right side, all high atop the visitors press box. And a gorgeous evening for football. We're looking at game time temperature going to be hover right around 77 degrees, and possibility we may see it down into the upper 60s by the time this ball game is over. It's pink out night tonight at Bulldog Stadium, bringing awareness to breast cancer survivors and the fight against breast cancer as well. Want all your hearts and minds to be on those that maybe you're close to. Maybe you have family members or friends. Obviously, I don't think there's nobody alive that hasn't been touched at some time from the forms of cancer, whether you have a survivor in your family or a family member that is fighting against the Big C right now. Our heart's going out to everybody tonight that's in the middle of that. High school football tonight, it is the 4-3 Lindale Eagles. 2-1 right now in 9-4A. Chapel Hill at 4-2, 2-0 though, with wins over Jacksonville and Palestine, two teams that Lindale has yet to face this season. Chapel Hill has already had their bye week. Lindale will have theirs in week 11 coming up at the end of the season after they go back home to take on Palestine and then at Jacksonville to finish up the year. Last year, this contest was a 36-14 win for the Eagles, but the Bulldogs of Chapel Hill, and Alan, that's where you jump in here real quick, because you know what? Demetrius Brisbane was a freshman a year ago, and Mark Spann sat right there in your chair before the ball game last year in Lindale and mentioned you know what, something may happen to this starting quarterback. I wouldn't be surprised if he tapped out during this game, but that freshman is a better overall quarterback than he is, and that is exactly what happened after their quarterback was sacked, I think for the 5th time. He got hit on a drop back and literally tapped out. They brought in Brisbane. He finished out the season, took them 4 rounds deep into the playoffs. We're both pretty darn excited to see a couple of sophomores play football tonight, but equally to see how Lindale answers, really being pushed around by a humongous Kilgore team a week ago.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how they respond to that. Talk about the quarterback, Brisbane. Sometimes if the starter sort of taps out and brings in that younger guy's a little bit hungrier than the guy's been there, and he's shown himself. And like you said, this year he has 895 yards throwing and 516 yards rushing. So, he's been having a really good year. I'll tell you one of the things we're going to have to see, though, Lindale, they're going to have to capitalize on some turnovers. If you take a look at their through the year, they have 1 interception and 2 fumble recoveries. That's not a whole lot. I mean,
sure.
if you look at Chapel Hill on the other side, they have 6 interceptions on the year and 9 fumble recoveries. Those turnovers do more than what people think. It turns over your whole thinking, the momentum of the game. And Lindale's going to need some of that. I guarantee you, though, they're going to come back and they're going to play hard. That's what we've seen from them all year. And the added thing that we saw last year is the passing of Clint Thurman, which has been getting better all year. Now, all of a sudden, last week he looked like a seasoned quarterback. One of the things you and I talked about, he was scrambling around, running to the line, pulling up and throwing the ball. So it's going to be interesting. But Lindale's going to have to make some stops. They're going to have to make some turnovers.
Okay, now you mentioned this week after week, Alan, that we're impressed with his maturation week after week and different elements of the football game. Clint has shown not only his leadership, but the fact he has progressed week after week as far as quarterbacking itself. Against Kilgore, he probably was as precise a passer as we've seen all season long. Now, the steps he's got to make tonight, it's different going against a defense that we didn't see a week ago. Kilgore had all the tools a week ago. You and Coach Roselle got a chance to kind of, talk about the differences in that defense last week and what he's going to face tonight.
Well, Coach Roselle, which has spent some time in Kilgore, I think when he was younger. But anyway, he told me that he thought that might be one of the best defensive lines that he's ever seen since he's been coaching.
Yeah.
And they were good. They had 3 very, very good defensive linemen. This week, I can't see Chapel Hill having as good a line as that. The thing they're going to see this week is that offensive line has got to really bond together and keep them off of Thurman. Because the thing about it is, even with him last week, getting as much pressure head on him, he moved around extremely well, got himself out of the pocket. And then the other thing the coaches did last week is they did a lot of play-action passes and got him away from being right there back behind the defensive line and the offensive line. So I see a big game out of him. Not only – I'll tell you what happens when you have a ball game like he did throwing the ball. Now they're not only a running team, they're a throwing team. So that other team has to get ready both ways for the run and for the pass. Where in the past – the last couple games, let's stop the run. Let's make him throw. He doesn't throw that well. Now they're going, oh, my God, he's throwing very well now. So it's going to have to make them work a little bit harder to get the game.
Put yourself in that film room then, because they obviously have to get prepared for this game. Do you think Jeff Reardon at Chapel Hill absolutely wanted to see that Kilgore film after that game? Now, a lot of teams can't put up 35 against that Kilgore defense. Would he have requested that film, and would Chris Cochran would have said, you bet, we'll send it?
Yeah, pretty well. It's pretty common that you get the game before and then 2 other ones.
Okay.
So they got it no matter what, unless they have something different. But yeah, I'm sure he does, because he wants to know how, to number one, to see how to score as many points as Kilgore did, and also to see how they can stop. What they probably were very surprised with, and once I said again, is the passing game that Lindale showed last week.
Yeah.
Because this is, there's nothing we can say. Without that passing game last week, Lindale was not going to stay in that game. And they nearly pulled it out trying to get to him.
And we've seen how effective Clint has been when his confidence just continues to build week after week.
Kenny, I'm going to tell you something. From the first of the year to what he did last week, a completely different quarterback. I mean, he looked like a quarterback last week. And I've been saying all year, he's gotten better every game. And last week, man, if he can just continue on that, we're going to see him really, really get good.
Well, last year, too, we'll look over the numbers here in just a second. Both teams out on the field now as we glance our way towards the east end zone where the flags are flying. The Hill Band will take care of our national anthem tonight.
As we honor America with our national anthem. Performing the national anthem, student Vicky Tavares.
Well, correction is they obviously had a solo singer up in the press box, and that was the reason we had a little bit of a trouble getting her incredible voice come over the PA system. I think she was actually standing right next to the PA announcer and bellowing out a fantastic rendition of the national anthem. It is the Lindale Eagles coming in at 4-3, and the Chapel Hill Bulldogs. The captains are headed out to midfield to take the toss. Last year it was a 36-14 win for Lindale. Patrick Daniels, 27 carries, 133 yards, and a couple of scores. This defense of Lindale Eagles sacked the quarterbacks 8 times, make that 6 times. Seth Baggett, couple of field goals of 28 and 19 yards added to that 36-14 win. For Chapel Hill, Ricky Stewart had 8 carries, 49 yards. Demetrius Brisbane, a couple of carries, 48 yards, and Alonzo McGregor had a couple of catches for 12 yards on the receiving end. Those were the 3 players, the marquee players that have taken full advantage of coming back to this football team tonight, and also 3 players who we're going to be calling out their name an awful lot tonight. The keys, obviously, Alan, I think for you as a coach, and also for anybody, for these 2 teams, for the Lindale Eagles, has got to be the perseverance they showed a week ago with not quitting. They got to figure out a way to put all that stuff aside and start all over tonight.
Yeah, they never quit, and they showed that last week. They have got to find a way on defense to stop Brisbane, and they got to stop Ricky Stewart. You know, Coach Roselle told me that they like to put the ball in number 2's hands. They like to put it in number 4's hands, number 1's hands. He said that quarterback is a good quarterback, you know, a lot better than last year because he's got a little bit underneath him now, a little bit of experience. But once again, I think they have to cause some some turnovers. They need to really start capitalizing on turnovers and getting some of those done tonight.
Yeah, well, last week we saw Kilgore take advantage of a couple of turnovers against Lindale a week ago, and one or two bounces, one or two different ways could have been different for the Lindale Eagles.
Well, if you remember, they blocked that field goal, and that was a killer. You know, Lindale's going from nearly scoring to kicking a field goal to going -7. So it is a killer.
The Lindale Eagles Chapel Hill won the toss. They're going to take the football first. They're wearing blue tops, blue pants. They're familiar multicolored helmets, about 3/4 of the helmets in blue and white stripes, a little bit of a yellow around the backside, white numerals outlined in yellow. Lindale Eagles are road whites, white tops and bottoms, bright blue numbers, white helmets as well. Seth Baggett tees it up at the 40, two-step kick is going to go deep and taken at the 9-yard line. Coming back to the 15, 20 left to right, a seam up the middle, 30, 40, one man to beat is Seth Baggett, and he makes a touchdown-saving tackle on Lonzo McGregor, who brings it back all the way to the Lindale 47-yard line. Baggett with a great play, saving a touchdown as McGregor pretty much went untouched all the way to midfield.
There was a big hole up in there. Chapel Hill, you have to give it to them on that. They did their job. They made those blocks, and there was a big hole. I could have ran through that hole.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I might hit my head.
Falling apart?
Yeah, I might hit my head. But.
Chapel Hill football going left to right, right at midfield at the 50-yard line. Here we go, going left to right. Man in motion, handoff Brisbane to Stewart, right off right tackle, and he breaks a couple of tackles and gets a huge run across the 40 up to the 39-yard line, maybe the 38, where it'll be 1st and 10, Chapel Hill Bulldogs.
You know, Ryan Stanton is the one that made the tackle there. That was just a little stretch play by Chapel Hill, and Coach Roselle said that they'll make a game out of that.
1st and 10, reverse going backside to Tyson Berry. Berry going left, crossing the 35 and knocked out of bounds at around the 40, make that 31-yard line. So immediately Chapel Hill is coming out and going left, going right with their speed.
Did you see Christian King chasing him down? You know, Christian King's going to fight just a little bit faster because he was there. He just couldn't get it to him.
So Chapel Hill, a couple of quick first downs to start this ball game off. Second. Well, now they've got it 2nd and 11. So loss of a few yards of a yard. Handoff coming near side, crossing the 25, still on his feet, breaking a tackle across the 20 to the 15. That time it'll be Lonzo McGregor with the carry. McGregor will take it from the 33 all the way up to the 15, so make that a 17-yard pickup for McGregor. And another first down. Chapel Hill is on the move and quickly.
Yeah, Christian Weidman and Carson Plucking on the tackle there. Once again, they're breaking in the secondary. Secondary guys making tackles.
Playing quick. They have got 5 receivers to the left. Man in motion, fakes the handoff. Brisbane going to take it himself, trying to string it out. Missed tackle at the 10, 5, tripped and circles into the make a flip down and around the goal line. In for the touchdown as Brisbane goes in from 15 yards out.
Chapel Hill doing a lot of misdirection. They'll have them in tight, taking a guy across the formation and running back the other way.
Well, talk about making quick work of it. That's 47 seconds into this football game, and Chapel Hill, in a matter of 5 plays, scores, making it a 6-0 score with 11:13 to go. Spot is down, kick is up, and kick is over the band and into the weeds. It is a 7-0 quick lead for the Chapel Hill Bulldogs, and we come back. Lindale Eagle football continues with OnTheCall.net.
Alford's Tire Brake and Alignment is going all in with the 2022 Lindale Eagles. Safety first is not only common sense when it comes to your transportation, it should be the top priority anytime it comes to the overall protection of your family. Safety checks on your basic brake and tire conditions or need for maintenance on your AC system is paramount during the heat of a 2022 summer. Alford's Tire Brake and Alignment puts the entire family name behind making sure you stay stress-free on the road year-round. You'll find tire replacements for all size tires, even lawn mowers. Lift kits and auto accessories are installed right there. And in some cases, while you wait, Alford's Tire Brake and Alignment, Highway 69, 4 miles south of I-20 in Tyler. AlfordsBrakeandAlignment.com.
Well, just like that, 47 seconds into this contest in Chapel Hill, which is averaging almost 50 points a night. All right, getting on the scoreboard first, 7-0 after a 15-yard run by Demetrius Brisbane. They will kick off left to right, and Lindale will take it. It'll be a very short kick, taken at the 28-yard line, straight up the field at the 30, 35, and across the 35 up to around the 38-yard line. And that kick is taken by up back. I think it's Marcus Field with the return. Gets a decent return. Lindale offense now will get back onto the field for the first time with 11:09 to go and down quickly 7-0.
I think that teams do that. They do that little short, high kick trying to catch the other team off balance, but I don't think it's effective this late in the season. Danny Doan was the tackler for Chapel Hill on that.
Well, they'll take the field position. Clint Thurman comes out with Patrick Daniels getting the start, moves to the left side of Thurman. Dual receivers to the left side. Handoff Patrick Daniels right side. He'll get minimal yardage, but across the 40 and picks up a quick 3-4 yards. So it'll set up a second and about 7. Give Patrick Daniels 3 yards on that carry.
Chapel Hill's running a 4-2-5 defense, it appears, and Davion Ross is their big guy, number 9 in the middle of the field.
Second down and 7, right to left, man in motion, faking a handoff to Daniels. And Clint Thurman going to take it himself, 40. 45, breaking a tackle at the 45, and he has to back up to around the 46-yard line. Boy, he almost got caught in the backfield, made one little move that only Clint Thurman can do, where it doesn't look like he's juking anybody, and somehow they can't tackle him. So he picks up about 5, 3rd and 2. Faking the throw. Thurman's going to run it near side. Got a lot of running room midfield. Trying to go back into the scrum. Crossing the 45-yard line. And Thurman getting great yardage across the 45. So he'll pick up 14 yards on that carry for Thurman and a first down.
He wanted to throw a quick screen out there, quick screen out to the outside. And when he looked out there, they had it covered up. And when he pulled it down, it just the whole left side caved down, made him a chance to run the ball. Daniel Wallerton, the other linebacker, made the tackle.
Well, Daniels to the left side of Thurman. Thurman will set up at midfield, takes the snap, fakes the handoff, throwing across the middle. Caught and dropped by Alex Romero. Romero had a great slant pattern there, and Clint Thurman threw it right in there and couldn't handle it.
That's one of the things I did say last week. The receivers did a great job catching the ball. They're going to have to continue that this week because if you got a guy throwing the ball where you can catch it, you got to make the catches.
Boy, you definitely cannot take a chance on missing a football right in your gullet. Thurman sets up 2nd and 10 from the 45. Lindale will move Landon Sullivan to the right now. Double tight end set as well as switching sides. Coming near side, handoff inside. Looks like possibly Devin Daniels with the carry. We'll check the number real quick. Couldn't tell if 7 came off and 24 came on.
They did a little switching with their lineman there. Lindale took their tight end, who was on the left, moved him to the right, and brought the tackle over to the left to help that big lineman to help blow a hole up in there.
Well, last week against Kilgore, Daniels 13 carries, 44 yards. Snuff for the first down. Or, excuse me, 3rd and 7 now. Thurman going to throw it deep and over the head of the intended receiver. Landon Sullivan was open at about the 37-yard line, and Thurman got kind of caught up between 2 receivers, threw it over Landon Sullivan's head and out of bounds.
Yeah, he's getting a little pressure by Malcolm Passama, and he was just trying to get out of his hands, I think, at that point.
Well, they pick up a first down on that drive, but that is it for the Lindale Eagles. So they'll set up 4th and 7, and Wyatt Parker will set up the punt. Back at the 45-yard line he stands. Single returner standing at the 10-yard line. Looks like Ricky Stewart. Snap, it bounces back to Wyatt Parker. Does a great job of handling that punt. That snap, it hits at the 20. Will stop at the 20 where they will come and touch the football dead right there at the 20 by Michael Shannon. We'll talk about a guy that kept the Lindale Eagles exciting last week. Michael Shannon in his return game a week ago on kick returns. Unfortunately, he had to return a few last week against Kilgore, but 3 returns, averaging 28 yards a return a week ago. So Chapel Hill with the football back. Brisbane takes the snap, hands off to the right side. This time the Lindale defense, led by Christian King, will knock, I think, Stewart back. And Stewart will get knocked back for maybe. They're gonna give him a gain of a yard.
Yeah, they were running the twins on both sides, just doing a little stretch play to the left. And Carson Plunkett was in the first to make the tackle.
Corey Watts moving to the right side. Snap back a little high to Brisbane. Fakes a handoff. He'll keep it. Brisbane breaks the tackle at the 30, 35. Still on his feet. Gets hit at the 20. Gets hit at the 24-yard line. And brought down right there. Boy, they are able to make white jerseys miss quickly within the tackles.
He just folded over, and he went right over the top of them. Luckily, Levi Thornton was there to make the tackle.
Well, 3rd and a long 4. Chapel Hill snap back. Brisbane fakes the handoff, and he'll throw it near side, complete to the 25. Thornton missing a tackle, missing another tackle, and trying to hit him up high. Michael Shannon and Levi Thornton, both missed tackles up around the shoulders of the intended receiver.
Yeah, Ryan Stanton from his linebacker spot, which has 53 tackles on the year, he was the one who had to chase him out over there.
Well, McGregor with the catch, and he picks up enough for the first down and then some. 1st and 10, Chapel Hill from their own 37-yard line, 38. Snap back, Brisbane, quarterback keeper. Across the end, 40, midfield. He is down the sideline, 40, 30, 20, 15, 10-5 touchdown. That is a 62-yard touchdown run by Demetrius Brisbane. Fooled everybody wide open and untouched.
Yeah, Coach Rozelle said that they like to run a stretch play with him, and basically all that is it gets lineman on lineman, lets him find a hole, lets him cut up into it, and that's what he did. And he was off the races, and nobody touched him.
Well, Brisbane now scoring twice in the first 4.5+ minutes of this football game with the long touchdown run. And Chapel Hill, McGregor puts the hold down. Kick is up, and it's good by Aiden Campos. And Campos will extend that lead now to 14-0, 7:42 to go first quarter when we come back.
A showroom almost as big as a football field. Really? Office Barn in Tyler.
A ridiculous amount of inventory at Office Barn. New and gently used office furniture.
More desks than the Pentagon.
Any style of desk imaginable. Desk as low as $50.
Office chairs.
Over 1,000 chairs in stock of all kinds from $20 to $2,000.
Conference room tables.
Biggest selection of new and used conference tables we've had in a long time.
Low cubicle prices.
Really stylish cubicles and workstations with space planning, delivery, and install.
Office Barn in Tyler.
We ship anywhere with next day delivery in East Texas. Buy it in the box and save even more. Discounts for nonprofits, veterans, and first responders.
Between Tyler and Lindale on Highway 69. Across from the big American flag.
Call or text us. It's the same number, 903-881-0340.
Office Barn in Tyler.
Office Barn.
Well, Bulldogs at Chapel Hill are not being very friendly hosts right now. Up 14-0 with 7:42 to go in this first period. Lindale will try to get things in order offensively, but right now, Alan, they're just very, very tough to match up speed-wise with these Bulldogs. It's kind of been the whole mantra of this football program over the years.
Yeah, Lindale's going to have to find a way to stop that. They're going to have to make they're going to have to clog up them fits in those holes to enable their linebackers to get to the ball.
Mazraudian, Brandon Petway at the right side, Will Hutchins on the left, Casey Poe, your tackles, along with Ethan Heller. Handoff coming. No, it's going to be Clint Thurman picks up big yardage, 35, 40-yard line, and Thurman picking up massive yardage, takes it from the 25 to the 42-yard line. They got a 17-yard gain for Thurman and a first down Eagles.
That's just they're faking the jet sweep, and then they're letting Thurman just read where to go. He's finding that outside's been caved in. Javen Mayfield made the tackle for Chapel Hill.
Well, here we go, Eagles, and the fan base getting everybody worked up. Snap back, Thurman going to keep it again. Follow Landon Sullivan into the hole, and nowhere to go right there as he gets back to the line of scrimmage and maybe leans forward for a couple. Clint Thurman will give him 1, 2, maybe 2 yards. It'll be second down and 8, going right to left at the 43-yard line.
Yeah, big stack up there again. Davion Ross for Chapel Hill, who's had 68 tackles on the year. He's their big linebacker in the middle. He was the first one in on their tackle.
Clint Thurman threw for 417 yards a week ago, 29 of 44, and also 78 yards on the ground on 13 carries, averaging 6 a carry. Patrick Daniels goes in motion in the slot. Thurman's going to lead into the hole across the 45, fighting his way towards the 49-yard line. He'll end up a couple of yards short of that first down. And Alan, just the way it looks, designed runs, Clint Thurman just following that tackle or that pulling tight end or that pulling slot back into the hole.
Yeah, I think what they're doing, too, is they're challenging their offensive linemen, saying, hey, we got to establish the run game right here. Let's get some blocking done up there.
Well, here they go, 3rd and 3. They marked it down at the 48-yard line. Sticks her a little bit further than I thought. 3rd and 3. Sullivan sets up to the left side. Snap back is high to Thurman. Thurman gives off to Daniels outside. Picks up the first down. Patrick Daniels 1st and 10 across the 45 to around the 44-yard line. And now a late push from a Chapel Hill Bulldog as the takedown downfield by Will Hutchins. Hutchins trying to get up and gets a shove back down to the ground right in front of the back judge. And no flag there. It happened right in front of the Lindale bench. A little odd that Will Hutchins would, take a guy downfield, take you down. Sam Houston commit, just throwing that in. 5:54 to go. Snap back. Thurman's going to go deep. Near sideline. Got a man up and over him. Caught at the 10-yard line. 5 touchdowns. Marcus Field goes up and over Javen Mayfield at the 10-yard line and takes it to 10 yards. Great pass by Clint Thurman, but better athletic play by Justin.
I'm going to tell you, when you're running the ball and when your quarterback can run the ball and you're running the ball and they're running the ball, then you do a play-action pass, you catch them. That's exactly what happened. That was a great reception.
45-yard touchdown pass and catch from Thurman to Marcus Field. Baggett sets it up. Thurman will hold. Spot is down. Baggett's kick is up and good. Fantastic. Big play answer for the Lindale Eagles, and they needed that. 14-7 our ball game with 5:47 to go in the first period. We come back. Lindale Eagle football continues with OnTheCall.net.
If you're looking to advance and improve your baseball or softball skills and overall game with the hopes of moving on to the next level, Marucci Elite East Texas is the premier select organization to do just that. Hi folks, I'm Derek Kraft, current minor league pitcher for the New York Yankees and coach for Marucci Elite. Head coaches Mike Holichuk and Jeff Casey take over 35 years of coaching experience to the field each year, showcasing East Texas's finest baseball and softball talent. Marucci Elite East Texas has proven itself to be the best at directly focusing on player development and the recruitment of its athletes. You can follow them anytime and learn more about Marucci Elite East Texas through Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter at METXETX. That's METXETX for Marucci Elite East Texas.
Well, Stewart just said it. You know, they've got to make a stop here. They can come back and tie this football game up. Fantastic individual effort by Marcus Field, though, on that pass by Clint Thurman, and we all agreed that it seemed like possibility that Marcus may have jumped a little early. Kick is squibbed across the 40 and taken and ankle tackled at the 45-yard line. Is going to be up back Trevor Brooks, the sophomore wide receiver, with a return. Gives Chapel Hill pretty darn good field position. I think that was one of those things the special teams was hoping that ball would go ahead and squibble past him and get into that third tier of return.
Yeah, they don't want to kick. Spot. They've already kicked it deep, and the guy nearly broke it once, so not want to do that. Wyatt Parker, which is the linebacker on defense, was the first down there to make that tackle.
Well, 1st and 10, Chapel Hill Bulldogs from their own 47-yard line, 5:42 to go. Bulldogs already up 14-7. Brisbane puts a man in motion. Handoff, cross man through it. Stewart makes the move midfield. 40, 30, 25. He is gone. One play, 47, 53 yards later. Chapel Hill is on the board.
Well, Ryan Stanton was on a blitz there, and he went to the outside. It just so happened when he went to the outside, that defensive tackle is supposed to go to the inside to overcompensate for that, but they were able to blow him out. Running back went right up into that gap, and he was off to the races.
Well, that's 3 huge plays for the Chapel Hill Bulldogs, and they go back up 21-7, and a quick answer to the long touchdown run or catch by Marcus Field. It's a 53-yard touchdown run to match the 62-yarder from Brisbane just barely 2 minutes ago. So with 5:33 to go in this first quarter, 21-7 Chapel Hill when we come back.
You're listening to the Coy Sessions from Brisket Love Barbecue and Ice House.
All right, Coy, let's take it from the top.
Let's see. Brisket Love Barbecue and...
Again.
Brisket Love Barbecue and...
Again.
Brisket Love Barbecue and...
Again.
Texas Monthly, twice in a row, said we're some of the best barbecue in East Texas. So we want you to come see us. Remember, you stay for the food, you come for the experience.
I think we got it.
Brisket Love Barbecue and Ice House. Yeah.
Maybe not.
Well, I think every team has to deal with big play letdowns, and Lindale Eagles are going to have to fight back a lot quicker than they had to do a week ago in the loss against Kilgore. Chapel Hill with incredibly fast and quick weapons. Well, big plays really will paralyze you after a while, Alan, if you just can't figure out a way to trip somebody up, get some ankle tackles here
Momentum again. Turnovers and long plays just kill you.
Squib kick hits at the 18-yard line, will be picked up by Daniels. Daniels finds a seam at the 30, 35, still on his feet at the 40. Big return by Patrick Daniels across the 45. He'll mark him down right at the 46-yard line. 1st and 10, Lindale with a short field.
Yeah, Lee Preston had already ran past down the field, had to turn around for Chapel Hill and come back and make the tackle. I'm telling you what, we're getting a lot of big plays and a lot of big runs in this thing.
I don't know what Stewart's going to do by halftime. We're going to run out of space on our stat sheet, I think. 5:33 to go, first quarter. Already 28 points in the first 6.5 minutes of this football game. 5:33 on the clock. Thurman hands off, first man through. This time it'll be Devin Daniels with his first catch of the night. Daniels picks up a good chunk of yardage, gets it up to midfield. Daniels will pick up 6 on the carry. It'll set up a 2nd and 4 at the 5th, right at midfield.
Yeah, they're going to have to find a way to block Davion Ross for Chapel Hill because he was in on the tackle again on that play.
The ball right in the middle of the Chapel Hill Bulldog, and they're enjoying a brand spanking new artificial surface. Hand off Devin Daniels again, going to try right side. Big hole Devin Daniels across the 45, way inside Chapel Hill territory at the 41-yard line. 1st and 10, Lindale.
That was their other linebacker, Daniel Walton, to make the tackle, but there was a big hole in there for him to run there.
Well, that time, Trey Maserati and taking his man all the way downfield. Clint Thurman straight up the middle, breaks it 30, 20, 10, 5, touchdown. Clint Thurman untouched, right behind the right guard and into the score.
You know, I thought all ago that he looked out there and made a fake after that quick screen and then ran with it. I think that was designed that time. He looked out there, faked out he's going to go there, and then went straight up the middle, which means those linebackers vacated the holes going out there for that quick screen.
Now, I love it when a defensive guy like Coach Alan Phillips sees the whole play, whether it's on the defense or offense. You saw everything open up. Great call, AP. Baggett will set up for the extra point as Clint Thurman gets them back to within 8, and Seth Baggett makes sure they're within 7. 21-14, Chapel Hill, 4:42. Lindale defense desperately looking for a stop when we come back. Lindale Eagle football continues with OnTheCall.net.
You know that old saying that a man's #1 job is to protect his family? Well, that's exactly what my dad had in mind when he founded Beeler Roofing in the late 1970s. Well, now it's 2022, and it's still the backbone of why Beeler Roofing continues to take care of families and businesses' new roofs, full roof replacements, and even simple roof repairs. We still welcome a good old personal phone call to set up a free roof assessment, and we take a lot of pride and enjoyment from making our customers feel better about being home. Plus, we can even help you navigate the insurance process. This is Brooks Beeler, Lindale Class 1989, and very proud to support your Lindale Eagles again this year. Find us on the web at BeelerRoofing.com or call us at 903-347-8484. Beeler Roofing, our family protecting your family from the top down for over 40 years.
Ulster champion informs us that already 8 plays of over 15 yards or more. We still got 4 minutes and 42 seconds to go in the first period. Lindale Eagles will kick it. We'll see how far Seth Baggett will kick this one at the 40-yard line, and he will boot it deep. He'll be going between the 2 returners, taking 2 yards deep in the end zone and returning it to the 10 to the 15, and stopped at the 15, 16-yard line. Lindale Eagles, and now flags all over the place, as it looks as though it may be one of those reach-in face mask situations.
Well, they missed the play because Ryan Stant got hit dead in the back as he's going to make the tackle or break down. As soon as he went to break down, he got hit dead in the back.
Well, they missed it back there, but they obviously picked up what looks like is obviously going to be a face mask penalty, as flags came in immediately after the Lindale defense converged on Tyson Berry right at the 17-yard line. So unfortunately, great coverage by the kick return team, as he almost made Berry regret bringing that ball out from 2 yards deep. And instead of Chapel Hill getting it 1st and 10 from their own 17, it'll move it out to the 31-yard line. So first penalty flag of the night, and it'll go against the Eagles. and the 15-yard variety. Eagles trying to stop him on defense. Snap back, Brisbane will come in right side. Reverses field to the left. Breaks the tackle 35 to the 40. Still on his feet. Turns around. Still on his feet. Breaks the tackle again at the 40 and all the way to the 43-yard line. 12-yard pickup by Brisbane, where it just looked like nothing was going to happen.
Well, Coach Rozelle told me about that. They had 4 receivers quad. All they had is the offensive tackle on the right side, and couldn't believe there was a hole there for him to run.
Handoff inside Stewart. Stewart gets a wide block, breaks the tackle at the 40-yard line, and can't get back to the 45 as he's stopped by the Lindale defense. And looking who's on the ground, Ryan Stanton, of course, on the ground. But attention coming to the near sideline, Alan, right underneath you, where we see Corey Watts going to the trainer table as he came off the field, favoring his left ankle as he's getting attention right now on the sideline. 2nd and 9. Brisbane fakes a handoff, play action, going to make a move. Coming near side, 45-50, still on his feet. 45 and slides down at the 42-yard line after a first down, Chapel Hill.
He might be the quickest quarterback we've seen this year because right there, Ryan Stanton just couldn't chase him down.
Well, between him and Stewart and lone setback and DJ Williams, who's in the backfield now for Chapel Hill, they have got toothpicks for Cavs, and they are lightning fast. Double tight end set, quick front pitch to Tyson Berry going far side. Berry trying to get outside. Levi Thornton just absolutely puts a great stop to that play. Alan, tell me about how he fights off that block.
I'm telling you what, he was blocked, and what he did that you want your quarterbacks to do is he fought to the outside, and that receiver, the guy running the ball, probably should have turned up inside him, but he kept fighting for the sideline. And Levi Thornton, that's what he's there for. Don't let him get up the sideline.
Absolutely. Picture-perfect play by Thornton. Trips receivers, split out wide to the right side, wide side of the field. Brisbane working fast. Bar hash, takes snap, straight drop back, looking right downfield, still in the pocket, now gets flushed, coming near side to midfield, 45, breaks the tackle, 40 to the 30, got a lot of running room to the 20, now he will slide down and gets hit immediately with 19 flags coming in, and unfortunately, and the Lindale fans cannot be booing right here because Michael Shannon put a pop on Brisbane as he went to the ground.
Did you see? It almost looked like Brisbane was slowing down not to even want to go forward.
Yeah. And that's where the defensive, that's where Coach Rozelle is going crazy right now because Brisbane, literally from our standpoint, probably could have ran that in.
Yeah.
And he slowed down watching Shannon converge on him. And as soon as Michael Shannon got close to him, he slid. Shannon came down and popped him. He was on the ground.
It almost looked like he designed that.
Yeah. Well, they're going to mark this off against Lindale. And unfortunately for Michael Shannon, he thought that quarterback was going to try to make a move on him. And at the last minute, when Brisbane went to the ground, Shannon went to the ground with him. So a 15-yard mark-off on the big play by Brisbane. Lindale trailing 21-14, 2:27 to go first quarter. Brisbane gets him in position now inside the 10-yard line. Or right at the 10-yard line. Snap back Brisbane. Thought about going right side. Now breaks the tackle. Forces a couple of Lindale players to run into each other. Dives forward maybe to the 1-yard line. He's going to be down just outside the goal line. I tell you, Alan, he has just got some ghost-like moves.
Yeah, Lindale widened their defensive tackles out, I think, to cover the outside, to help with the outside run. He was able to break up and go up to the inside, skip a guy and pop out to the outside again. I'm telling you, got a lot of moves.
Well, late substitution for the Lindale Eagles. As the Chapel Hill Bulldogs set up 1st and goal from right at the 1-yard line. Snap back, it's high. But Tyson Berry will take it in from 1 yard out. He will get popped right at the goal line, but he'll break the plane of the goal line. They'll give him the touchdown with 1:40 to go.
Yeah, Christian King made that tackle. Not before he didn't get across the line, though. I'm telling you what, a lot of quickness on that field. Maybe more than we've seen all year.
That is crazy. Tyson Berry with the 1-yard touchdown run. And Campos will add on the extra point. Chapel Hill moves it back to a 14-point lead. We go back and forth after Chapel Hill scores a couple of quick ones. 28-14 Chapel Hill Bulldogs over your Lindale Eagles. When we come back, Lindale Eagle football continues with OnTheCall.net.
Hey, Doc Deason here, Lindale class of 1990 with Real Edge Real Estate in Tyler. You can find me online at docdeasonrealestate.com. You know, after this summer, anything associated with fall is going to be welcome throughout the season, especially Lindale High School football. It's an honor for me to again partner with my friend of 30 years, your play-by-play man, Kenny Smith. There's nothing in this country quite like Texas high school football, and you need to know we're partaking in a legendary pastime right now. But when the game's over, if you need some help with real estate, give me a shout. Don't hesitate. 903-262-8680. That's 262-8680. Again, I'm fellow Eagle Doc Deason. Thanks for listening.
Back at Bulldogs Stadium, where things are a little rough for the Eagles right now. Kick is going to go deep. Patrick Daniels will watch it soar over his head for the second straight kickoff. Michael Shannon has yet to have an attempt at a kick return. He had such a big night a week ago against Kilgore and a lot of opportunities. But as of right now, Alan, the regrouping happens very quickly for the Lindale offense because the defense has not been able to stay on the field very long because of the explosiveness of Chapel Hill right now. It's got to be tough right now, Matt Cochran in that huddle.
Yeah, you know, a lot of times you're worried about your defense being on the field too much, and they're just scoring very quickly, using that speed to run up and down the field. So the Lindale offense is the one staying on the field longer.
Well, Clint Thurman splits out receivers to the wide side of the field, two to the left, one to the right, hands off. Patrick Daniels, far side, got some blocking out in front of him across the 25 and tries to best get to the 30, but gets run out of bounds short of the 30-yard line. See where they're going to mark it. Short of the 30. They'll give him actually 5 right at the 30-yard line. Okay, hang on, Stuart. They started him at the 25. Scoreboard's always 2 yards behind. They'll give him 5 on the carry. Hands off this time across the middle right to the 30-yard line. Landon Sullivan trying to lend a hand to Patrick Daniels. Gets in a block right at the last second. He'll pick up 2 more.
Well, it appears that Chapel Hill are doing little tricks up front. They're bringing their linebackers, doing little stunts up front to confuse that pretty good daggum offensive line of Lindale.
Well, they tripped receivers to the short side of the field, the far side. Lone man is Marcus Field. They're going to try pattern right up the sideline, trying to get the ball to Ethan Moriarty, but they double-team him, and right around midfield, Clint Thurman trying to hit him, but well over his head and out of bounds, incomplete. 28-14, Chapel Hill. Clock under a minute now, and a quick 3-and-out for the Eagles with 43 seconds to go in this first quarter.
You know, this is going to come down to the Eagles have got to make a stop here. You know, it's like a wound, and it just keeps bleeding.
Yeah.
You know, if they can make a stop, give the offense a chance to get on there. It's almost like the offense has to get out there and they think they got to score quickly.
Wyatt Parker.
We're still in the first quarter.
I know, 43 seconds to go in the first quarter. There's already 42 points, and immediately Chris Cochran, as they set up for the punt, Chris Cochran calls a timeout. 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. They had enough men on the field, but with 43 seconds to go, Chris Cochran will call a timeout. And the first by either coach. This one called with 43 seconds to go. Alan, switch over to Matt Cochran's, I guess, psyche right now. They were able to run the football the last possession, and they opened up that hole. The offense seems to be getting some penetration on the defensive line. This defensive backfield is pretty darn quick. They haven't really gone to the middle of the field yet. Is that a possibility offensively? If you're in the headset talking to the offensive coordinator, you tell him, Matt, hey, get the ball back. Let's check the middle of the field.
I'm telling him run the ball. You know why I'm telling him run the ball? It's keep the ball out of their hands.
Yeah.
Get them first downs. Run that clock off. You know,
give the defense a rest.
Yes, give the defense a rest. Try to keep it out of their hands.
All right, Gunner set up 2 to the left, 2 to the right. 3 up backs. Wyatt Parker standing at his own 17-yard line. Snap was a little low last time. Perfect snap this time. Parker's going to run it. Now he'll punt it up the right sideline. It'll go out of bounds almost immediately. Parker tried to take off around the right side, and the Gunner protectors decided to rush him probably earlier than he thought.
You know, if you remember a couple of weeks ago, 2-3 weeks ago, he did that and faked it and ran quite a while. And they might have been talking about that on the sideline, you know, saying, hey, look, if they give it to you, even though it's pretty tough when you're in your own 25.
Is it protocol to try to do it to the short side of the field, or do you try to give your punter a little bit extra room?
You and I, back in our days, more sideline.
Yeah.
Nowadays, these guys that have so many tendencies that they look up and so many things that you and I never even knew about.
Yeah, good point. Well, it's a short punt. Parker kicks it out at the 48-yard line to Chapel Hill. High snap, going to hand off to Ricky Stewart. Runs into his own man, bounces off of that. Now he's got run room to the outside of the 40, to the 35, to the 30. Stands up the sideline, makes a move at the 25-yard line. And, boy, unfortunately, I tell you what, Christian Weidman was in a perfect position to run him out of bounds, and Stewart did nothing but just jump right around him and picked up an extra 10.
You know, Lindale's got to be scratching their head. They had him stop dead to rights a yard deep, okay? And then he just reverses fields and takes off. And I'll tell you, I saw Ryan Stanton chase him all the way from the middle field all the way to down where they're at now, which is probably, the 13 or 14-yard line.
A big long run, 38 yards for Stewart. Stewart picks up huge yardage. They're going to let the clock run out. First quarter comes to a close, and Chapel Hill is inside the red zone again with the Bulldogs. 28-14 Chapel Hill. We come back. Lindale Eagle football continues with onthecall.net.
The summer of 2022 has been tough on everyone, especially those that were without a top-performing HVAC system. Rose City Air was created by Will Decker and Heath Willingham after they experienced plenty of too little, too late scenarios. With two objectives in mind: service and educate consumers on the most efficient ways to maintain a healthy AC unit correctly the first time and eliminate the anxiety of second and third opinions and repairs. Rose City Air takes the time to show you the complexities of maintaining a top-notch HVAC system while the estimate and assessment is being done. Rose City Air's free estimates, 24-hour no-hassle emergency services, low-cost maintenance agreements, and discounts for veterans, first responders, and educators are why Rose City Air wants to service your home or business whenever the need arises. 903-630-4343 or go to rosecityairtx.com.
Back at Bulldog Stadium, Kenny Smith, Coach Alan Phillips, and Stuart Campion. It's hard to watch right now, as Lindale's got plenty of weapons, but Chapel Hill so much quicker and athletic and lightweight right now. They're on the move again. Handoff, first man through, and the Lindale defense finally gang tackling and breaking away finally, but right at the whistle. And they're unable to wrap him up, but Jake Kerbo finally got his arms around Ricky Stewart, had him stopped, and thank goodness they blew the whistle at the 13-yard line because he broke loose.
Well, Roselle told me to watch this, that they'll get in what's called quads. They had four receivers off to the right, and all they have is a tackle over here, and they attempt to run over there thinking that the Lindale's defense will move that way. That time they stayed at home.
Brisbane sets up Stewart to his right side, snap back, fakes the handoff. It's a reverse, going far side to McGregor. Roots it upfield, breaks the tackle at the 10, inside the 5. They'll mark him down right there at the 5-yard line. Another big gainer by this time, Lonzo McGregor. And McGregor gets him just inside, right at the 5-yard line.
Jalen Hines did the thing that you don't want to do. Right when he started to make the tackle, he put his head down, and the guy juked him. You got to keep your eyeballs up.
Well, you certainly have to with the speed of these guys, as they are just loaded with incredibly quick. Berry and McGregor's put out wide to the left. Handoff Stewart straight up the middle. Stewart has stood up and knocked back for a couple of yards. Lindale defense, Jake Kerbo leading the charge, and that time Stewart got popped by two different white jerseys. I think it's Wyatt Parker in to finish him off.
Yeah, I guarantee you, Roselle's telling them linebackers, you get off your rear and go make some tackles, and those two linebackers got on him.
Well, boy, this fan base is absolutely looking for some inspiration and hoping the defense will do it. They stop them on third down. They're going to bring in their field goal kicker. It's Aiden Campos will try a 25-yarder from the 15-yard line. Spot is down, kick is up, and kick is good. So they will hold them to 3 points, 31-14 Chapel Hill. When we come back, Lindale Eagle football continues with onthecall.net.
Backing the Lindale Football Eagles now as he did back then. Eagle Chiropractic is owned and operated by former Lindale Eagle center, Dr. Shane Allen. A class of 1989 graduate, Dr. Allen is an expert in chiropractic and nutritional health counseling. His expertise in these areas assist him in helping patients reduce and even eliminate migraine headaches, neck pain, back pain, and joint pain of all levels, both acute and chronic. Eagle Chiropractic offers therapeutic exercises, nutritional supplements, and analgesic creams, along with educational consultations and follow-up to assure continued support and confidence in a healthy lifestyle that is pain-free. Eagle Chiropractic Chiropractic, Highway 69 in Lindale, open Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or Saturdays. Call for an appointment and consultation at 903-881-5172. Eagle Chiropractic, making people better every day.
Back at Bulldogs Stadium, thank you so much to Michael Shannon, Russell Davis. I appreciate you guys tuning in and hanging with us. John Curtin, we really don't mind how old you are. We just know that you're young enough to be keeping up with the Eagles tonight. Thank you so much. 10-14 to go with that Campos field goal. It moves Chapel Hill back to a 31-14 lead. Michael Shannon with the return on the deep kick. Crossing the 15 to the 20, still on his feet, 25 up to the 26-yard line. As Michael gets his first chance at a return tonight. The guy just came out of nowhere a week ago, made some fantastic returns, tough running. We may have talked to Matt about, adding a running back onto the regime here, since they went from pretty deep to having the Daniels boys in the backfield. You have to throw 14 back there when we get a chance.
Well, I'm going to tell you what, I've been watching. The Campos has got a leg. He two-stepped it earlier and put it in the end zone.
Devin Daniels checking in, and to the right side of Clint Thurman. Dual receivers to the top side, wide side handoff. Daniels knows it'll be a fake hand. Clint Thurman's just going to keep it himself. Runs into a couple of blue jerseys at the 30-yard line. Clint Thurman, I have no idea how to describe how this kid continues running when he gets hit. I mean, with a freight train, and just never stops.
Well, he had two people on him that time, and he shed both of them. So, not a big kid. He just runs hard and drives those knees.
And he fell forward to the 31-yard line. 5-yard pickup for Thurman. 2nd and 5 now from the 31-yard line. Lindale going left to right. Trips receivers to the far side. Landon Sullivan now in motion. Stops behind left tackle for blocking. Thurman going to keep it himself again. Follows a couple of blockers through the hole and gets a couple of tough yards. And Brandon Petway driving his defender all the way down to the 40-yard line.
I saw that too. As a defensive lineman, you hate that because then coaches see that on that film.
Well, great story that Chris Cochran shared with us that involved Brandon Petway and the fact this kid did not want to play football anymore when he left Gilmer and headed this way. And it's just been a great story of resilience and bringing some great inspiration to this football team, which a lot of these guys do. Thurman going to keep it himself again, straight up the middle. Clint Thurman for the first down. Thurman gets it across the 35, all the way to the 40-yard line, and a late penalty flag, and it's way downfield, and it's right around the area of Trey Maserati, and as Maserati drove, I'm pretty sure that's going to be Ja'Cory Seaton all the way down to midfield. We're going to see who this penalty is going to be on.
I'll tell you who he drove. He drove the linebacker, Davion Ross.
Okay.
Their best defensive player. He drove him back that far. And that linebacker did not like that at all.
Well, Maseratian keeps going as the Lindale team understands. You go through the echo of the whistle. So when you stop hearing the whistle itself, that is when you stop playing. So Maseratian doing his job, and it pays off. First flag against the Bulldogs, and a great break after the first down run.
Well, Maserati put them arms up after he did it because I always told my kid, they don't catch the first guy. They catch the second guy. Don't be doing nothing stupid.
Well, Chapel Hill, 277 yards on the ground already and only 12 yards through the air. Lindale Eagles pick up the first down on the ground that time, plus the 15-yard mark-off. 2 penalties, 30 yards against the Eagles. First one against the Bulldogs here with 8:35 to go first half. 31-14 Chapel Hill. High snap, handoff, Devin Daniels straight up the middle, got a break. 30-yard line, 25, trying up the sideline, 20, 10, 5, down at the 2. Devin Daniels with a 43-yard truck and gets caught from behind right at the 2-yard line. Great defensive effort by Chapel Hill, but Lindale Eagles knocking on the door inside the 5.
I don't know if Daniels knew if he was going to go for a touchdown or what, but he sort of stuttered there waiting for, and Dylan Johnson was able to get to him.
Well, he glanced backward
yes.
for a second there and wanted to try to check and see how close he was. But they're going to move the football. Looked like they were going to set up in the middle of the field, and they move it to the far hash mark. So Marcus Field, lone receiver to the right side, and everybody is moving early. Oh, my gosh. And the Lindale Eagles will get called for the illegal procedure call after the run to the 2-yard line. So the 5-yard mark-off against the Eagles. Their first flag here in the second quarter will move them back 5 yards.
So they'll take it from the 2 to the 7 now. First and goal from the 7. Offensive line gets set. Handoff Daniels, right side, through the tackle, diving for the end zone and down at the 1. And now again a scrum in the middle of the field. Referee throws the flag. First man to get up was a Chapel Hill Bulldog, and Will Hutchins remains on the ground after that whistle blows. He is up and fine. Let's see who this flag's going to be against. Referee walking it over. Jeff Reardon is walking about halfway out to the numbers. And referee still hasn't made a call. Now he'll make it. Dead ball foul, unsportsmanlike conduct against the Chapel Hill Bulldogs.
I'm telling you, you get your rear drove off the ball, you don't like it, you don't want to make a thing where everybody can see it. I'm telling you what, Lindale right there, what they did is they unbalanced. They brought an extra lineman over to the right side, unbalanced the line, and just pushed them all there.
Well, they'll decline it, of course, because Daniels takes it to the 1-yard line. They'll maybe move it up a couple of inches. And snapping for the ball again, and the Lindale Eagle offense, I think, is going to get caught for a procedure penalty again. Alan, I'm not sure what has happened all of a sudden, because Clint Thurman clapped to get the snap. Maseratian snapped it.
It wouldn't surprise me if Maseratian's not coming over this thing. Coach, they're making a sound over there that sounds like that clap. And what I'm doing is because what he does, he looks back there and he listens for that clap. He don't look for it. He's looking downfield to see the block.
Well, I'm guessing the umpire's got to pick up on that, too,
yes,
Alan. That's his responsibility.
All you can do is tell them they have to look for it.
Well, they'll back him up 5. Snap back, Thurman going to turn around, hand off to Devin Daniels. Daniels picks up minimum yardage, maybe 2 off the right side, back up to the 4-yard lines. This is the longest series of plays when you get first and goal from the 2.
Well, you think about this. We haven't seen that all year where they jumped off sides like that, and then all of a sudden we've seen it twice in the last 2 or 3 plays.
Yeah, this is unlike there's no track record for the Lindale Eagle offense to have this happen. Set back up, high snap, handoff Devin Daniels. Daniels nowhere to go again. Wrestled down right at the line of scrimmage at the 4. Well, and maybe they're going to say he went back to the line of scrimmage, so he barely gets back to the 4. 3rd down and goal now from the 4-yard line for the Eagles.
You got to take your hat off Chapel Hill on that. They unbalanced. Lindale unbalanced to the left side that time, which means they had 4 linemen on the left side. Chapel Hill adjusted to it, and Lindale couldn't run to it.
Here we go, 6:24 to go, clock rolling. Clint Thurman with Devin Daniels behind him. Hands off to Daniels. No, he's going to keep it. He's going to scramble to the 5, going to dive for the end zone, and gets pulled out of bounds. Touchdown! He hits the pylon into pay dirt. I'm telling you, Alan, there's times this kid is amazing. It looks like they grabbed him from the wrist. We're going to throw him out of bounds from the waist, and he somehow hits that pylon.
That is right there is an example of how he's matured through the season. That was a bootleg play, and when he rolled out there, he had 2 receivers in the end zone. But you all know that when you take the ball and take it out of your hands, even for 2 yards, does not mean he's going to catch it. And he saw open space in front of him. He took off and run and get it in. But you're right. He had to fight to get that last yard.
Touchdown Thurman, his second one of the night. Seth Baggett again as consistent as that kid is. Extra point is up and good. A 10-point ball game, 31-21 Chapel Hill, 6:13 to go. Believe it or not, in the first half. We come back. Lindale Eagle football continues with OnTheCall.net.
Alford's Tire Brake and Alignment is going all in with the 2022 Lindale Eagles. Safety first is not only common sense when it comes to your transportation, it should be the top priority anytime it comes to the overall protection of your family. Safety checks on your basic brake and tire conditions or need for maintenance on your AC system is paramount during the heat of a 2022 summer. Alford's Tire Brake and Alignment puts the entire family name behind making sure you stay stress-free on the road year-round. You'll find tire replacements for all size tires, even lawn mowers. Lift kits and auto accessories are installed right there, and in some cases, while you wait. Alford's Tire Brake and Alignment, Highway 69, 4 miles south of I-20 in Tyler. AlfordsBrakeandAlignment.com.
Well, Bulldog Stadium is a hotbed for scoring tonight. Chapel Hill Bulldogs up 31-21 over the Lindale Eagles. 10-point ball game right now. Thurman, 10 carries, 97 yards, and a couple of touchdowns. It obviously helps when you get a 41-yard run for the TD, also the touchdown pass to Marcus Fields. And the kick from Baggett, setting it up at the 40-yard line. And Seth Baggett will kick it deep. This time it'll be taken at the 10-yard line. A little short kick by Berry. Tyson Berry taking it, finds the seam. He's loose. It's Baggett and Berry again. He gets behind Seth Baggett, chases Alex Romero. Romero can't get it. It'll be a 90-yard kickoff return for a touchdown for Chapel Hill. Good gracious.
You know, I'll say this for Chapel Hill. Javen Mayfield did a great job. I thought he fixed the block one of the Lindale players in the back, but he ran right in front of him just to shield him off and let him get in the end zone.
Well, Berry with his second touchdown of the night. And, Alan, you've said it, I know, 1,000 times. Every coach has. There's no substitution for speed. And there's a lot of times there's things you cannot do to stop speed. And once Chapel Hill, Tyson Berry especially, finds that little bitty window, they absolutely just catapult through it. Kick by Campos, barely good inside the right upright, and quickly Chapel Hill answers. 5:59 to go, first half, 38-21, back to a 17-point lead right now when we come back.
A showroom almost as big as a football field. Really? Office Barn in Tyler.
A ridiculous amount of inventory at Office Barn. New and gently used office furniture.
More desks than the Pentagon.
Any style of desk imaginable. Desk as low as $50.
Office chairs.
Over 1,000 chairs in stock of all kinds from $20 to $2,000.
Conference room tables.
Biggest selection of new and used conference tables we've had in a long time.
Low cubicle prices.
Really stylish cubicles and workstations with space planning, delivery, and install.
Office Barn in Tyler.
We ship anywhere with next day delivery in East Texas. Buy it in the box and save even more. Discounts for nonprofits, veterans, and first responders.
Between Tyler and Lindale on Highway 69. Across from the big American flag.
Call or text us. It's the same number, 903-881-0340.
Office Barn in Tyler.
Office Barn.
Scoring barrage here in Chapel Hill. Kickoff goes to Patrick Daniels. Daniels takes it up the right far sideline across the 40 up to the 45 and run out of bounds right there. Fantastic return by Patrick Daniels, but boy, they have got to find some kind of momentum offensively right now as Chapel Hill answers everything. 38-21 our score with 5:53 to go first half.
Boy, you talk about an offensive game. Kickoffs, offense. Yeah, right now it's been tough for either team to stop anybody, but the speed of Chapel Hill right now has just been very difficult to keep up with. Lindale offense will try to keep up right now with 5:53 to go first half. Thurman will put Landon Sullivan in motion. He'll stop right behind the left tackle. That is right where Devin Daniels will run, and he will pick up a hard 3 yards up to the 47-yard line. You know, this game is getting really physical, and we're not even done with the first half, Alan. Yeah, you know, and I told you this earlier, that one of the things that Lindale's offense, they need to run the ball to keep Chapel Hill from getting the ball.
They're going to play quickly. Clint Thurman, play fake, going to go across the middle of the field, and Alex Romero again, and now a flag coming in late and behind the play. Romero was open across the middle at the 35-yard line. Clint Thurman led him a little bit. Romero was going down for the football. And a flag comes in from the back judge. And it's going to be an automatic first down for the Eagles. An interference call will be called. I'm not real sure if that's 14 or 19 was back there in coverage. Maybe Daniel Waddleman. He's listed as a linebacker. Let's check the number one more time. Okay, defending Trevor Brooks is back there as well. But I think it's going to be 19 it was covering. Dylan Johnson was on top of Alex Romero, so the interference call will move it up 15 yards. It'll be an automatic first down for the Lindale Eagles. 1st and 10 from the Chapel Hill 37-yard line. Thurman sets a man in motion. Handoff, Devin Daniels. Daniels get tripped up back at the 40, dives forward close to the 35-yard line. And he'll give him maybe a yard, maybe 2 yards. They'll set him up 2nd and 8 now from the 35.
Well, Lindale doing a lot of shifting on offense, taking and moving receivers from one side to the other and halfbacks from one side to the other, trying to catch Chapel Hill in a bind.
Ball far hash mark. Wide side of the field is the near side to the Lindale sideline. Trips receivers. Moriarty wide out. Thurman got to scramble. He's got to run. He gets hit. Ball goes loose. Picked up by Chapel Hill, and they're going the other way to the 40, 30,
20, 15, 10-5, touchdown. It is a fumble recovery, touchdown run and return by, looks like Kevion Huddleston. Kevion Huddleston takes it, looks like a running back, and I think he's a linebacker, maybe even a defensive lineman.
Well, I'm going to tell you, Daniel Waddleton, one of the linebackers from the left side, was on a stunt. And Clint Thurman started to roll out to the left side. He just chased him down. When he started to bring that arm up to throw the ball, he just stripped it out of his hand.
Well, it's a 47-yard, a 53-yard fumble recovery return for a touchdown by Chapel Hill with 4:42 to go. They keep coming up with different ways to score. Snap is way high, and Chapel Hill cannot fall on it. Lindale almost had an opportunity to pick it up and possibly return it. Chapel Hill will fall on it. Extra point, no good for the Bulldogs. The first time something has not gone right for the Bulldogs when it comes to scoring points. 44-21 Chapel Hill. We come back. Lindale Eagle football continues with OnTheCall.net.
If you're looking to advance and improve your baseball or softball skills and overall game with the hopes of moving on to the next level, Marucci Elite East Texas is the premier select organization to do just that. Hi folks, I'm Derek Kraft, current minor league pitcher for the New York Yankees and coach for Marucci Elite. Head coaches Mike Holichuk and Jeff Casey take over 35 years of coaching experience to the field each year, showcasing East Texas's finest baseball and softball talent. Marucci Elite East Texas has proven itself to be the best at directly focusing on player development and the recruitment of its athletes. You can follow them anytime and learn more about Marucci Elite East Texas through Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter at METXETX. That's METXETX for Marucci Elite East Texas.
Well, the Chapel Hill Bulldogs have had a kick return for a touchdown and now a fumble return for a touchdown on the first turnover of the night for either team. Michael Shannon gets the return at the 5-yard line. Coming back the other side, stopped at the 23-yard line on the return. And that's where Lindale will start up 1st and 10. From there, with 4:37 to go, down 44-21. And, you know, Stuart just mentioned it, Alan. They were down 10 just like 2 minutes ago. It's so tough when you have to continuously try to get your team to come back. I mean, when you try to huddle up on the sideline and always trying to encourage your team to put all that stuff behind you and move forward.
Yeah, sometimes I hate to say this, but when things are just not going right, you have to struggle to find the right things to say to your team.
Yeah. Lindale got the wide side of the field, near side. Set it in the backfield. Devin Daniels, he'll fake the handoff. Thurman fakes the throw as well. Finally, we'll get it complete to Marcus Field. Still on his feet, breaks 2 tackles. Great play by Marcus Field. Tough yardage across the 35 up to the 38-yard line. Fantastic move. 15-yard completion to Marcus Field. Got popped twice. Got out of those tackles. 1st and 10, Lindale. Going left to right. Dual receivers to the left. Handoff Devin Daniels to the left side. Daniels powering his way across the 40 up to the 39-yard line. They'll give him 3 yards on the carry.
You know, Lindale's in a little bit of a spot here because, you know, as many points as they're behind, they're going to have to throw some. But, again, they're wanting to trudge that ball out and keep it out of Chapel Hill's hands. So they're in a little bit of a spot. So their offensive line is going to have to really do a good job of getting them some yardage.
Well, they're actually going to mark them down at the 40. 3-yard pickup. Boy, Clint Thurman's got to scramble again, and he gets wrestled down and bulldogged back at the 28-yard line. Thurman will lose about 10. They'll actually mark him down at the 30. The referee will place the ball at the 30-yard line, so it'll be a 10-yard loss on the play by Clint Thurman as he is pulled down by an incredibly fast defensive lineman.
Yeah, I think that was a linebacker up on the line. They're starting to do a little stunting. It's Trevor Brooks is who made it. And they were doing a play-action pass, and he just read it well on the stunt.
Well, after the first down, 3rd and 20. Deep pass going across the head, right over the top of the head. Looks like Moriarty. It'll be Marcus Field with the intended receiver, but Clint Thurman will float that up a little bit too far. It'll go over his head and over the defender's head. And thank goodness Javen Mayfield could not catch up with that football. We could have seen the second turnover in as many possessions.
I was afraid he was fixing to be a receiver and just chase that ball down.
Yeah. Wyatt Parker will step back, though, on the 4th and 20 play. And quickly the Lindale offense will have to reset. Jalen Hines will split out wide to the left side. Chapel Hill up 44-21. Eagles get the snap. Wyatt Parker scrambling to his left again. This time gets an end-over-end kick that hits at the 47, takes a Lindale roll at the 40, and out of bounds. Good kick by Parker at the 37-yard line. Lindale back on defense here and hoping they can work this clock and run this clock out without giving up any more points here.
Yeah, they need to get a little momentum here. One of the ways they get some momentum is to stop them on this drive. In fact, if they can stop and get the ball back, take it down, that will do tremendous amount of momentum working in the locker room.
Well, it's a football team that scored 62 a week ago against Jacksonville. They've got 44 on the board already. Trips receivers tight inside the hash marks to the right side. Handoff to Stewart. Stewart having to move sideways, moves it back inside 35, breaks it back outside. The numbers at the 40 and at the 45, and finally gets slung out of bounds by the Eagle defense. I think it's Jake Kerbo finally caught up with him about the 49-yard line, but not before Stewart got picked up big yardage, taking it from the 38 all the way to...
They're so quick.
Golly.
I thought they had him tackled about 4 yards in the backfield. He slid out of that one, and Jake Kerbo had to chase him down.
Well, Stewart ran about 30 yards. He picked up 10, though. Snap back, hand off to Stewart again, straight up the middle of midfield. Still on his feet across the 45. And Stewart again with big yardage. He'll give him 7 that time, up to the 45. Clock continues to roll now with 2:49 to go. And Chapel Hill on the move inside Eagle territory, right to left.
Gabe Hart was in on that tackle. Big boy got him a tackle right in the middle of the field.
Yep. McGregor and Tyson Berry split out wide to the left side. It's the wide side of the field. And about 3-4 players moving before the snap of the football. They're going to get a procedure call this time against Chapel Hill.
Well, that number 52 is the tackle, and he was fixed to pull to the right, and they were going to run a little dart play where he runs over there, and depending on what they have schemed, he either kicks out that end or he turns up in on the linebacker. Interested to see if they do it again.
Well, Huddleston's not even tired from returning that fumble for the touchdown. He's back in on offense. Snap back to Brisbane. Brisbane fakes a handoff, going to keep it himself, coming near side. Makes a move at midfield, and will get tackled right there at 45-yard line and pulled down by Ryan Stanton.
They ran the same play, but it's a replay, and Brisbane just pulled it and went right where that tackle left.
Well, they've got a holes-off tackle on the left and right side. Move the ball to the middle of the field this time. And see if the Lindale defense can clog this up a bit. As we see Jacob Alford talking to his offensive line down on the sideline. Snap back, Brisbane going to keep it coming near side. Inside the hash marks, bumps into his own man and gets knocked down by his own player. He ran right in up the back of his offensive tackle, Keldrick Davis, and gets tripped up at the 40-yard line. So substitutions on defense.
A little bit different what they did that time. They quadded up on the left side, which would have been to Lindale's right. And in the past, they'd run over there to the other side thinking Lindale's shifted over. Now that Lindale's not shifted over, then they ran to the left where they had more people to block.
Well, timeout on the field. I think Chris Cochran is going to spend his second timeout of the first half. First one came at the 43-second mark of the first quarter, so minute 54 to go in the second quarter. Down 44-21. Got a chance meeting with a Lindale graduate just yesterday, a young man that gets a chance to listen to us on Friday nights. Christian Flores had a little car trouble yesterday, was running his car to a shop. I got a chance to run him back home and short chance to visit with him, and he gets a chance to keep up with the Lindale Eagles through onthecall.net, through our broadcast. So I want to say a shout-out to Christian. We appreciate you listening, bud. Thank you so much.
I was going to tell you on the way up all ago, there was a man sitting there, and he saw Stewart not coming up the stands. He said, I was just fixing to turn you guys on. So he listens to us while he watches the game.
And I appreciate that.
That's
cool.
what I told him, too.
Minute 58 to go, first half. Chapel Hill over Lindale, 44-21 right now, out of the timeout. They'll set up first and 10 from the 40-yard line of the Eagles. Going right to left. Brisbane looking for the snap. And he's going to throw. Drops way back. Will throw a middle screen to Stewart. Stewart gets hogtied from behind. And great tackle and pursuit. I think that's Jake Kerbo. Hang on a second. It'll be Wyatt Parker with the tackle back at the 40. So no gain on the middle screen on the far sideline.
You know, if you're a defensive lineman, what you're taught is that as you're rushing, if those offensive linemen let you go, screen, 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 screen. Not all the time can they get to it, but Wyatt Parker did a great job coming from the offside linebacker to go make the tackle.
Well, Brisbane's going to walk all the way off the field to the far side to talk to head coach Jeff Reardon, and walks back on the field. They're taking all this clock they can. Trips receivers to the left side. Michael Shannon all the way up in the face of the outside receiver. Brisbane drops straight back looking to throw. He gets rushed. He gets hit as he throws down the sideline. Intercepted at the 18-yard line. And that time pulled down. That may be Ryan Betts back there. Ryan Betts with the interception at the 18-yard line. And after Brisbane takes a pop, Lindale turns it into a turnover.
Yeah, he needs to go shake Jake Kerbaugh's hand because he was right in his face, and that guy just let the ball go, and Jake Kerbaugh got a good old pop on him.
Well, they trade off turnovers there after the fumble recovery and the touchdown return by Chapel Hill. Lindale will see if they can make something happen here with only 1:04 to go. And the football, 1st and 10. They actually marked them down at the 19-yard line. Patrick Daniels to the left side of Clint Thurman, trips receivers to the short side of the field. Daniels in motion. Faking the screen, will throw it backside to Moriarty. No, it's Fields. Fields, no real room to run, but he makes something happen across the 25 up to the 28-yard line, right on top of the first down marker. They're going to mark him maybe a yard short. So a 9-yard completion to Fields. 2nd and 1. Sullivan in the slot left. Pass play, knocked down at the line of scrimmage. And that time batted down. You don't see it very often, but that time the bat down coming from the hands of Kendall Allen, junior defensive lineman who bats it down. Clint Thurman had a guy open on the far sideline, too.
Yeah, he did. He did a little stop right on the outside. Thought he was going to hit him, but all of a sudden that big hand went up and knocked it down.
Well, we don't have any heights and weights, of course. We haven't actually had, I think, a roster other than Kaufman's where we've actually had dimensions on these players. High snap, handoff to Daniels. Daniels getting it outside to the 30, 35, and out of bounds, stopping the clock at the 36-yard line. 38 seconds to go. Lindale continuing to move the football, back-to-back first downs, and see if maybe a magic big play will happen for the Eagles here before the first half.
Yeah, Patrick Daniels did exactly what he was taught. He made the run. He could have tried to get a couple extra yards, but he ran it out of bounds and stopped that clock.
Stack receivers left and right. Play fake. Thurman stays in the pocket. Now he's got to scramble up the middle. Now he stays in the pocket, gets wrestled down for no gain at the 36-yard line. Chris Cochran will call a timeout with 29 seconds to go.
Malcolm Pazama for Chapel Hill did a great job of rushing up the field, but then what he did, he reversed field and went back up and caught Clint Thurman trying to rush to the outside and made the tackle.
We're going to figure out how to say that, guys.
My God, I can't do it.
It's spelled Passama.
Passama.
Malcolm, P-A-S-S-A-M-A. I think we should should we ask somebody? Should we maybe try to right the wrong and make sure we're doing it right in case Mrs. Passama is listening?
I'm sure we'll get it on that thing over there.
Okay. On that thing over there.
Yeah, that computer thingy, you know?
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you what.
The gadget, as the legend Tom Perryman used to call it.
I'm going to tell you, Kenny, I've been very, very impressed with the quickness of Chapel Hill. And not knowing much about Chapel Hill, just what, you've told me.
Sure.
Man, speed all over the field.
And half these guys are sophomores.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah, well, a team that after the defeat to Lindale a year ago turned Brisbane into a starting quarterback, and they went 4 rounds deep. Thurman's got a lot of time to pass, and he throws it, coming back for the ball. Complete, coming near sideline. Landon Sullivan with his first catch of the night at the 48-yard line of Lindale. And they're out of timeouts, but clock stops as they'll move the chains. But, boy, trying to come back for the ball also was Ethan Moriarty.
They never stopped the clock, and so Cochran's having a fit.
Well, we looked up at the end of the play, and the clock was at 19 seconds.
He also had it as a first down. It was a second down.
And plus the first down, they've got to stop the clock anyway. And, Alan, I'm telling you, that clock went from 19 to 14 seconds really fast.
Yes, and I was sitting there watching it, and the officials, not a one of them was looking at the clock, and Coach Cochran's running down there telling them, clock.
Okay, well, they lost 5 seconds we know of because at the end of the play, the first thing I did was glance up at the clock. It said 19 seconds. I think as soon as they got the sticks moved,
And we're obviously not preaching hometown, running the clock thing. It's the fact that I think they probably have direction. As soon as they get the stick set, they start the clock back up. But the official, the line judge, has to call for that clock once the sticks get set. They will not add any time onto the clock. They will not adjust the clock. But the referee's mic doesn't work anyway. When he turns it on, that's when you actually hear the whistle in the crowd mic. All right, they're going to add 5 seconds to the clock now. Thank you, Stuart. The official's microphone doesn't work. So Chapel Hill has actually now reset the clock to 19 seconds. So they got it right. Chapel Hill up 44-21. Lindale on the move with 18 seconds to go. Snap back to Clint Thurman. He's going to try to throw right. Going to stand up in the pocket. Throws complete. Great catch made by Alex Romero at the 37-yard line. They will rush to the line of scrimmage and call a play. First down, Lindale. They'll take the snap with 10 seconds to go and spike the football to stop the clock.
But they ran a second off of it without,
And now we show 2 seconds have come off the clock.
It should be 11.
So they snapped the football as soon as they got the ball set and the play started. And the snap and the grounding of the football, and they will take the clock down to 9 seconds to go. Snap back Thurman, play fake, looking left, looking down the middle, will throw down the middle. Caught! An amazing catch by Alex Romero in traffic. Caught down at the 22-yard line. They'll take the snap again, spike the football, and again a couple of seconds runs off the clock. The clock is stopped with a second to go, but Alex Romero with back-to-back fantastic catches in traffic. Clint Thurman throwing it across the middle of the field. And, Alan, we had just talked about if Matt Cochran had thought about at least experimenting, trying, and that's just us looking down at the field from way up high.
The officials are gathered right there. I'm not too sure that there wasn't a Chapel Hill guy that was being very lackadaisical. Yeah, he's being very lackadaisical about getting across the line of scrimmage.
All right, well, they're going to put 3 seconds back on the clock. And they're also going to mark 5 yards off against Chapel Hill.
Yeah, Chapel Hill player took his time getting across there.
So Chapel Hill gets charged with their third penalty of the second quarter. Lindale gets an extra 5 closer to the end zone. This may be the last play. And they're going to send in Seth Baggett to try a field goal on a 1st and 5 play. They're going to mark it down. Clint Thurman will kneel at the 24-yard line. It's a 34-yarder, and now the referee will come in and stop play and is now jawing, evidently yelling at the Chapel Hill defense, and now we'll call the play. And Seth Baggett will try a 34-yarder with 4 seconds to go. Thurman waiting for the snap. Snap back. Hold is down. Baggett. Kick. Up. Kick is good. Seth Baggett nails it from 34 yards out. Lindale Eagles, a 20-point deficit at the end of the first half when we come back. Lindale Eagles trailing 44-24 at halftime when we return. Lindale Eagle football continues with OnTheCall.net.
You come for the food and you stay for the experience. Brisket Love Barbecue and Ice House, a mile off Interstate 20 on FM 849 in Lindale. Come hungry because the barbecue portions are generous and the atmosphere is the best in East Texas, including live music on the stage in Hackberry Hall. Brisket Love Barbecue and Ice House combines great barbecue, craft beers, signature cocktails, and live music for a one-of-a-kind experience. Brisket Love Barbecue and Ice House, 15338 FM 849 in Lindale, and on the web at brisketlovetx.com.
Backing the Lindale Football Eagles now as he did back then. Eagle Chiropractic is owned and operated by former Lindale Eagle center, Dr. Shane Allen. A class of 1989 graduate, Dr. Allen is an expert in chiropractic and nutritional health counseling. His expertise in these areas assist him in helping patients reduce and even eliminate migraine headaches, neck pain, back pain, and joint pain of all levels, both acute and chronic. Eagle Chiropractic offers therapeutic exercises, nutritional supplements, and analgesic creams, along with educational consultations and follow-up to assure continued support and confidence in a healthy lifestyle that is pain-free. Eagle Chiropractic, Highway 69 in Lindale, open Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or Saturdays. Call for an appointment and consultation at 903-881-5172. Eagle Chiropractic, making people better every day.
If you're looking to advance and improve your baseball or softball skills and overall game with the hopes of moving on to the next level, Marucci Elite East Texas is the premier select organization to do just that. Hi folks, I'm Derek Kraft, current minor league pitcher for the New York Yankees and coach for Marucci Elite. Head coaches Mike Holichuk and Jeff Casey take over 35 years of coaching experience to the field each year, showcasing East Texas's finest baseball and softball talent. Marucci Elite East Texas has proven itself to be the best at directly focusing on player development and the recruitment of its athletes. You can follow them anytime and learn more about Marucci Elite East Texas through Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter at METXETX. That's METXETX for Marucci Elite East Texas.
It's like moving from an old office into a brand new office. Trade up your current office furniture to brand new furniture from Office Barn in Tyler.
Office Barn buys new and used furniture by the truckloads.
We will also upgrade the look of your office by exchanging your current furniture for new digs.
Maximize your office space with our space planning services, including build measurement, design, and a 3D diagram. Office Barn can even reconfigure existing cubicles for office space.
More desks than the Pentagon, 1,000 plus chairs, conference room tables, lobby furniture, storage cabinets, cubicles.
I'm John Longcry. We ship anywhere with next day delivery in East Texas. Buy it in the box and save even more. Discounts for nonprofits, veterans, and first responders. Plus, office moving done right the first time.
Between Lindale and Tyler on Highway 69, across from the big American flag.
You name it, OB stocks it.
Office Barn.
The summer of 2022 has been tough on everyone, especially those that were without a top-performing HVAC system. Rose City Air was created by Will Decker and Heath Willingham after they experienced plenty of too little, too late scenarios. With two objectives in mind: service and educate consumers on the most efficient ways to maintain a healthy AC unit correctly the first time and eliminate the anxiety of second and third opinions and repairs. Rose City Air takes the time to show you the complexities of maintaining a top-notch HVAC system while the estimate and assessment is being done. Rose City Air's free estimates, 24-hour no-hassle emergency services, low-cost maintenance agreements, and discounts for veterans, first responders, and educators are why Rose City Air wants to service your home or business whenever the need arises. 903-630-4343 or go to rosecityairtx.com.
You know that old saying that a man's number one job is to protect his family? Well, that's exactly what my dad had in mind when he founded Beeler Roofing in the late 1970s. Well, now it's 2022 and it's still the backbone of why Beeler Roofing continues to take care of families and businesses' new roofs, full roof replacements, and even simple roof repairs. We still welcome a good old personal phone call to set up a free roof assessment, and we take a lot of pride and enjoyment from making our customers feel better about being home. Plus, we can even help you navigate the insurance process. This is Brooks Beeler, Lindale class 1989, and very proud to support your Lindale Eagles again this year. Find us on the web at BeelerRoofing.com or call us at 903-347-8484. Beeler Roofing, our family protecting your family from the top down for over 40 years.
Alford's Tire Brake and Alignment is going all in with the 2022 Lindale Eagles. Safety first is not only common sense when it comes to your transportation, it should be the top priority anytime it comes to the overall protection of your family. Safety checks on your basic brake and tire conditions or need for maintenance on your AC system is paramount during the heat of a 2022 summer. Alford's Tire Brake and Alignment puts the entire family name behind making sure you stay stress-free on the road year-round. You'll find tire replacements for all size tires, even lawn mowers. Lift kits and auto accessories are installed right there. And in some cases, while you wait, Alford's Tire Brake and Alignment, Highway 69, 4 miles south of I-20 in Tyler. AlfordsBrakeandAlignment.com.
Hey, Doc Deason here, Lindale class of 1990 with Real Edge Real Estate in Tyler. You can find me online at DocDeasonRealEstate.com. You know, after this summer, anything associated with fall is going to be welcome throughout the season, especially Lindale High School football. It's an honor for me to again partner with my friend of 30 years, your play-by-play man, Kenny Smith. There's nothing in this country quite like Texas high school football, and you need to know we're partaking in a legendary pastime right now. But when the game's over, if you need some help with real estate, give me a shout. Don't hesitate. 903-262-8680. That's 262-8680. Again, I'm fellow Eagle Doc Deason. Thanks for listening.
Well, it has been a scoring barrage tonight from Bulldog Stadium in Chapel Hill, Texas. 44-24 is our score. 44-24 at the end of the first half. 68 points between the Chapel Hill Bulldogs and the Lindale Eagles tonight. It has been behind a couple of spectacular sophomores in Demetrius Brisbane and Ricky Stewart tonight. Tyson Berry has been one of those guys who has been able to electrify this crowd. Big plays for Chapel Hill all night long. They had a 14-0 lead with 7:42 to go in the first quarter. Earlier in this ball game, 15-yard run by Brisbane. He followed that up with a 62-yard run 4 minutes later. Ricky Stewart with a touchdown to his credit also on a 53-yard run. Campos has a field goal. Tyson Berry with a 1-yard run and a 90-yard kickoff return also. And defensive lineman Huddleston, this guy had picked up a fumble by Clint Thurman. He hit Clint from behind, and then Kevion Huddleston took it in from 53 yards out for a fumble recovery touchdown. That was the last score for Chapel Hill. That was with 4:42 to go in the first half. Lindale Eagles, Seth Baggett closes out the first half with a 34-yard field goal. Clint Thurman's got a couple of touchdowns from 41 yards out and from 4 yards out. Marcus Field, who had a fantastic, highlight film 45-yard touchdown reception earlier in the first score for Lindale to get them on the board. And then Alex Romero, made 2 circus catches to get them in field goal position to close out this first half with only a 20-point deficit. Stuart, since you're here with me, and since we're looking at numbers, I know you've been working pretty much overtime. It's actually been one of the more athletic performances of yourself because of the big plays, because of having to use your calculator phone and also do math in your head half and half anyway. Let's look at some of the numbers, man. Let's first of all start with the Lindale Eagles because, Chapel Hill's is packed with numbers right now.
Okay, Lindale was on the ground's got 174 total yards and 84 in the air. If we break it down, Devin Daniels has 8 carries for 67 yards. Patrick Daniels, 6 carries for 20. And once again, Clint Thurman carrying the load, 12 carries for 87 yards. Passing, it's all 84 yards, all from Clint Thurman, but he does have the 1 touchdown. And then we have the two people catching the ball, which would be Marcus Fields has 3 catches for 45 yards, 15 yards, and 9 yards, and Alex Romero has the other 2 for 10 and 15 or 25 yards. So if we're looking at Chapel Hill, that's a big difference. Chapel Hill's run the ball. They've got 305 yards on the ground and only 12 in the air. He's thrown the ball 3 times. Demetrius Brisbane has thrown the ball 3 times. 1 for a 12-yard catch, another one incomplete, and then an interception. Ricky Stewart, 9 carries, 128 yards, a touchdown. He's averaging 14.2 yards per carry. Tyson Berry has had the ball 3 times. He has a total of -1 yard and a touchdown. But then he does have that 90-yard touchdown return.
Yeah.
Demetrius Brisbane, 9 carries, 155 yards. He's averaging 17 yards per carry and 2 touchdowns. And that's pretty much it. Everything's on the ground with them and only 1 complete pass.
Quickness all over the place, and half of these guys are sophomores. So Chapel Hill will be a team to be reckoned with in 9-4A for the next few years. Tonight, right now, Lindale Eagles are just talking in the clubhouse, in the field house right now about, first of all, how to stop the run, but second of all, how to get more than one body on a potential runner because these guys are packed with spectacular moves. Halftime is upon us at Bulldog Stadium. Lindale Eagle, the Fighting Eagle Band, is on the field right now, entertaining both the home and visitor sides of the stadium. 44-24 lead for Chapel Hill when we come back. Halftime is on us at Bulldog Stadium. Lindale down by 20 when we return.
It's halftime of tonight's game broadcast. Tonight's Lindale Eagle game broadcast is brought to you by Alford's Tire, Rose City Air, Root Construction, Brisket Love Barbecue and Ice House, Marucci Elite East Texas, Doc Deason Real Edge Real Estate, Beeler Roofing, The Office Barn, and Eagle Chiropractic. The second half will kick off after the short timeout. It's halftime of tonight's game broadcast. Tonight's Lindale Eagle game broadcast is brought to you by Alfred's Tire, Rose City Air, Root Construction, Brisket Love Barbecue and Ice House, Marucci Elite East Texas, Doc Deason Real Edge Real Estate, Beeler Roofing, The Office Barn, and Eagle Chiropractic. The second half will kick off after the short timeout. It's halftime of tonight's game broadcast. Tonight's Lindale Eagle game broadcast is brought to you by Alfred's Tire, Rose City Air, Root Construction, Brisket Love Barbecue and Ice House, Marucci Elite East Texas, Doc Deason Real Edge Real Estate, Beeler Roofing, The Office Barn, and Eagle Chiropractic. The second half will kick off after the short timeout. It's halftime of tonight's game broadcast. Tonight's Lindale Eagle game broadcast is brought to you by Alford's Tire, Rose City Air, Root Construction, Brisket Love Barbecue and Ice House, Marucci Elite East Texas, Doc Deason Real Edge Real Estate, Beeler Roofing, The Office Barn, and Eagle Chiropractic. The second half will kick off after the short timeout. It's halftime of tonight's game broadcast. Tonight's Lindale Eagle game broadcast is brought to you by Alford's Tire, Rose City Air, Root Construction, Brisket Love Barbecue and Ice House, Marucci Elite East Texas, Doc Deason Real Edge Real Estate, Beeler Roofing, The Office Barn, and Eagle Chiropractic. The second half will kick off after the short timeout. It's halftime of tonight's game broadcast. Tonight's Lindale Eagle game broadcast is brought to you by Alford's Tire, Rose City Air, Root Construction, Brisket Love Barbecue and Ice House, Marucci Elite East Texas, Doc Deason Real Edge Real Estate, Beeler Roofing, The Office Barn, and Eagle Chiropractic. The second half will kick off after the short timeout. It's halftime of tonight's game broadcast. Tonight's Lindale Eagle game broadcast is brought to you by Alford's Tire, Rose City Air, Root Construction, Brisket Love Barbecue and Ice House, Marucci Elite East Texas, Doc Deason Real Edge Real Estate, Beeler Roofing, The Office Barn, and Eagle Chiropractic. The second half will kick off after the short timeout. It's halftime of tonight's game broadcast. Tonight's Lindale Eagle game broadcast is brought to you by Alford's Tire, Rose City Air, Root Construction, Brisket Love Barbecue and Ice House, Marucci Elite East Texas, Doc Deason Real Edge Real Estate, Beeler Roofing, The Office Barn, and Eagle Chiropractic. The second half will kick off after the short timeout. It's halftime of tonight's game broadcast. Tonight's Lindale Eagle game broadcast is brought to you by Alford's Tire, Rose City Air, Root Construction, Brisket Love Barbecue and Ice House, Marucci Elite East Texas, Doc Deason Real Edge Real Estate, Beeler Roofing, The Office Barn, and Eagle Chiropractic. The second half will kick off after the short timeout. It's halftime of tonight's game broadcast. Tonight's Lindale Eagle game broadcast is brought to you by Alford's Tire, Rose City Air, Root Construction, Brisket Love Barbecue and Ice House, Marucci Elite East Texas, Doc Deason Real Edge Real Estate, Beeler Roofing, The Office Barn, and Eagle Chiropractic. The second half will kick off after the short timeout.
Back at the half, 44-24 Chapel Hill leading the Lindale Eagles right now as the Bulldogs coming back out onto the field after the halftime entertainment. And Lindale Eagles are inside their tunnel about to burst out, and they will get the football first coming out as the start of the second half. A couple of numbers Stuart worked up for us, and it is a different tale of the tape. Chapel Hill 26 plays, a total of 317 yards, 10 first downs. Lindale 36 plays with 258 total yards and 11 first downs. 11 plays over 10 yards for Chapel Hill, 7 over 10 yards for the Lindale Eagles. It's been kind of big play first half. And Alan, we heard Coach Roselle talking to his defense outside of the field house moments ago, or a few minutes ago before they came out of the tunnel. Obviously, the thing they have to regroup on specifically, not the scoreboard, obviously, Alan, but do they have to start with the defense or do they have to start with the offense?
Well, I think they have to start with the defense. They have to make a couple of stops. You know, the offense, like you're just reading the numbers off, the offense is not really the problem at this point. It's just that the Chapel Hill's offense is on fire, you know, and so Lindale's got to find a way to make a stop. It's very important on this drive that they score, and then they come back and they make a stop. You know, it's going to change the complexity of the game because then the momentum is going to be changed.
Well, the wide receivers have made outstanding catch after outstanding catch, with Marcus Field and Alex Romero being the two large targets. Landon Sullivan with one catch in that first half also. But, boy, the acrobatic catches from Field for the touchdown and the two that put Alex Romero got Seth Baggett close to field goal range. Kick is deep. Lindale will take it. And it'll be Daniels from the 2-yard line coming near sideline. Michael Shannon with a good block. And then Patrick Daniels gets annihilated at the 24-yard line, knocks his head back, but he bounces right up off the turf and gets right back up and into the offensive huddle.
I think that was Trevor Brooks that put the pop on him.
Oh, my.
Yeah, he had a little head popping, didn't he?
Well, that was a little scary there for a second because Daniels went down after that pop, but he popped right back up after that play. 1st and 10, Lindale Eagles at their own 24-yard line, going left to right
Patrick Daniels to the right side of Clint Thurman. Clint now will change the play, puts Daniels 2 steps behind him, turns around, hands off to Daniels, off tackle. Good yardage for Patrick. Patrick gets it across the 25 to the 28-yard line. And unfortunately for him, Trey Maseratian took his block and turned his defensive lineman right over on top of Patrick Daniels and then fell on top of him.
A lot of weight to be put on top of you.
Patrick got tackled by a player on both sides. So 3 trips receivers now double tight end set to the right side. Landon Sullivan behind the right tackle. Handoff Daniels again. Daniels going off that right tackle spot. This time it's Devin Daniels across the 30, right on top of the first down marker, maybe a half yard short. We'll see if they'll move the chains as he picks up 4, maybe 4.5. And they'll say he's short by about a half a yard. So 3rd and less than 1. And now Marcus Field sprints over from the right side, or from the left side, split out. We'll go duels to the right. Short side of the field, handoff Daniels. Daniels making a little stutter step, gets enough for the first down. And Devin Daniels with the first down run, crossing the 35 up to the 37-yard line.
You know, I've been watching Chapel Hill. They're doing a little stunts with their linebackers, lining them up on one side, run them over to the other side, and bring them from the outside. If you'll remember, that's what got Lindale in trouble at one time. They brought that linebacker from the outside. So they're trying to make some of those turnovers happen that we were talking about earlier in the game.
Well, Lindale 1st and 10 to 37. They keep the ball on the ground, set up in the deep eye. Thurman will roll out to his left now. Stops, comes back to the right side. Needs a block, gets one from Maseratian. Breaks loose at the 40. 45 midfield, running out of bounds at the 46-yard line. Clint Thurman making everything happen. Coming back the other way. Maseratian was right there to give him a little seal block. Patrick Daniels downfield with a great block as well and sprung Clint Thurman into Chapel Hill territory.
That's one of the things Lindale does well. They block for each other.
Thurman with a big gainer. Fakes the handoff again. Play action. Going to go deep sideline. Coming back and catching it and dropping it. It'll be Marcus Field. No, it'll be Moriarty. He made the catch as he went to the ground. Ball popped straight out and into a teammate's hand on the sideline. Thank you, sir. Clint Thurman with a 17-yard pickup on that last carry for the first down. Moving the chains on the ground. Romero sets up in the middle receiver slot, trips left. Daniels to the left side of Thurman. Takes the snap. He'll ride Daniels all the way into the hole. Big hole, 40. Breaks it outside. Getting a block to the outside of the 35, to the 30. Daniels out of bounds inside the 30 to the 29-yard line.
Boy, that was a great job by Daniels of reading that. Pop it up in the hole and break it to the outside on the left side. And that was where they had the trips, and so those receivers were able to seal the inside off, and he's able to break off to the outside.
Well, we've got a player down. Chapel Hill has got a man down at the 39-yard line and holding on to his right leg. So we've got an injury timeout on the field right now. As everyone takes a knee, first Chapel Hill, first player we've seen down in this ball game, which has turned out to be a pretty physical game. They will set him up, and now up to his feet. And putting a little bit of pressure onto his left leg. And coming off the field under his own power be Daniel Waddleton. Waddleton, the senior linebacker.
Yeah, I'll guarantee you that Coach Cochran will be looking for where he came from to try to make a run right there where that replacement comes in.
Well, Waddleton will work his way off the field, but with a little bit of help from a trainer on his left side. He's favoring his left leg, but he goes off under his own power. So good news there for Chapel Hill, the Bulldogs. And Waddleton, well, he reached down immediately. 1st and 10, Lindale Eagles. Moriarty split out wide by himself. Snap back, handoff, Devin Daniels. Daniels gets popped immediately after picking up maybe a yard to the 27-yard line. Daniels will hand the ball back off. Got to get an adjustment on his jersey after the hard tackle.
Yeah, the tackle's by Kendall Allen. He's a junior defensive lineman.
Patrick Daniels right now with 53 yards on the ground after that big gainer. Clock at 9:40 to go, third period. Lindale play fake. Going to be tipped at the line of scrimmage, and unfortunately for Alex Romero, he had the inside track on defender Jaborian Cook, and that ball got batted down at the line of scrimmage second time tonight.
Well, I'll tell you, they had trips out here, and they had one of the linebackers moved out on the inside receiver, and then they brought him on a blitz, which left him wide open.
9:37, clock stopped on the incompletion, 3rd and 9. Snap back, Thurman, play fake, going to throw it this time. Romero caught it and dropped it. May have taken a step. They're going to call it incomplete. But Alex Romero got hit immediately across the middle. This guy has taken shots going across the middle, got the ball into his gut, got hit immediately, and the ball popped out incomplete.
You know, Kenny, you played receiver, didn't you?
Yeah, but not very well.
Yeah, but going across the middle like that, man, you get some hits put on you.
Well, I was fortunate, though, because everybody played deep for Sam and U of H, and there was a little bit of hole in the middle. Romero in motion, goes back. Snap is high. Thurman going to go for it. 4th and 9. Goes for it himself. First down, Lindale. Thurman still on his feet across the 15. Clint Thurman. And a complete will look like a busted play, Allen. Snap went way up high. It looked like he had a receiver eligible over here on the right side. Just tucked it and ran it. First down.
Well, like you said, I think it was a busted play. He couldn't even make a play fake. But turned it up in the middle and made a great run from it.
12-yard pickup for Clint Thurman on a 4th and 9. Snap back. Hands off. Patrick Daniels, and great penetration for the Bulldogs as they go right under the legs, right underneath the offensive line, and knock Patrick Daniels down maybe for a loss of 1 or 2.
Yeah, they did that, and the linebackers were free to come up to help make the tackle.
Trevor Brooks, I think, the first one to get back there. Clock rolling, 8:43 to go. Lindale Eagles kept the ball this whole third quarter. On the drive, snap back. Thurman going to throw it. Going to be caught and immediately pulled down. And a great tackle back there. Cameron Griffin snipped that play out from the snap. Catch was made, and I think they're going to lose another couple of yards on that reception.
I really thought that was fixing to go the other way.
Yeah.
And I think that's what was happening early on, is that they were making that fake out there and running with it, and that time he tried to make the fake and go ahead and throw it out there.
Trying to see who the eligible receiver was. I think it was Marcus Field with the catch on the far sideline. He will stay on the far sideline. He'll be the only one to stay there. So he'll make the catch, but gets pulled down for a 2-yard loss. Snap back to Thurman, play fake. Looking to Field in the back of the end zone, the corner. Wrestling for the football. Marcus Field goes up and pulls it down. Touchdown, Lindale. Defender wanted an interference call. There was an awful lot of pushing back and forth. Field goes back up again over the top of the defender and comes down with the touchdown.
Yeah, Jamin Mayfield thought he was getting an interference in, but it was both the same. They were pushing in on each other.
Well, it could have gone either way there, right there, but Marcus Field will pull it down for an 18-yard touchdown catch. In that back corner of the end zone, Baggett will set up for the extra point. Kick is up, and it is good. Lindale will open up the third period with a long touchdown drive that started at the 26-yard line. 44-31, Eagles trailing Chapel Hill when we come back. Listening to Eagle Football with OnTheCall.net.
You're listening to the Koi Sessions from Brisket Love Barbecue and Ice House.
All right, Coy, let's take it from the top.
Let's see. Brisket Love Barbecue and
Again.
Brisket Love Barbecue and
Again.
Brisket Love Barbecue and
Again.
Texas Monthly twice in a row said we're some of the best barbecue in East Texas, so we want you to come see us. Remember, you stay for the food, you come for the experience.
I think we got it.
Brisket Love Barbecue and Ice House, yeah.
Maybe not.
Good drive. Well, I don't think you could have patented any better drive to start off the second half. And, Alan, it's no secret that they absolutely needed something like that. Confidence builder also, not only for the offense, but giving the defense a little extra rest and getting them ready for this possession.
Well, you design your offense to have drives, and that was a drive, not a quick hitter.
And then will Squibb kick it. It is still on the ground, picked up at the 20-yard line by the Bulldogs. Taking it far side, Tyson Berry will finally get knocked out of bounds at the 35-yard line.
Well, like we talked about before, I don't think they'll kick it deep anymore.
Well, I wouldn't either. And Seth is pretty darn good at spotting that ball in that kind of that third tier of returners, dropping that ball in between the 20 and the 30 and the 20-yard line. So Lindale defense will come out in the third period, their first opportunity here to see if they can get a handle on this Chapel Hill offense. Not many teams have done so yet. Put a man in motion. Brisbane takes the snap. It rolls back to him. Fakes a handoff. He's still on his feet, crossing the 40. And again, picking up major yardage. Brisbane may have got 10. He'll mark him down at the 43-yard line. He'll be a yard short of the first down.
Yeah, Jalen Hines got him by the feet, and then Stanton was the one that came in and finished the tackle.
44-31 Chapel Hill. Eagles score to open up the third quarter. Clock at 7:22 to go. Brisbane with trips receivers to the left side. He hands off. Coming near side is Stewart. Stewart stringing it out. Michael Shannon pops him at the 45, stays on his feet. Reversing his field. Still on his feet. Still has the football. Finally, a lot of white jerseys will surround him at the 49-yard line, and that's where they will pull him down at.
This sort of reminds me of six-man football. Have you ever seen a six-man football game?
Yes, just on film, though. I've never been.
It's like they're weaving in and out and around and all over the place, and that's what these kids from Chapel Hill are able to do. They don't go down easy, and they're just slippery.
No, well, Stewart runs back and forth, but he'll end up picking up 6 on the play. He gets enough for the first down. Chapel Hill with their first down here in the third period. Brisbane with the snap. Inside handoff, Tyson Berry. Berry across midfield to the 40. Gets a lot of room outside. Inside 40, 30, 20, 10, 5, touchdown. Good gracious. 48 yards out. Again for Tyson Berry. Make that Lonzo McGregor. My apologies. McGregor with the 48-yard touchdown run. McGregor takes it the distance on the 1st and 10 play by the Bulldogs.
Well, that would be considered a jet sweep where he comes in motion really fast across the formation. He just tosses it out in front of him, and he's got the speed to get the corner, turn, step up, and go the distance.
Thank you, sir. It'll be a 52-yard run. My apologies. McGregor from 52 yards out. Kempos with the extra point is good, and it's hard to get a touchdown up on Chapel Hill as they answer again. 51-31 Bulldogs. We come back. Lindale Eagle football continues with OnTheCall.net.
You know that old saying that a man's number one job is to protect his family? Well, that's exactly what my dad had in mind when he founded Beeler Roofing in the late 1970s. Well, now it's 2022, and it's still the backbone of why Beeler Roofing continues to take care of families and businesses' new roofs, full roof replacements, and even simple roof repairs. We still welcome a good old personal phone call to set up a free roof assessment, and we take a lot of pride and enjoyment from making our customers feel better about being home. Plus, we can even help you navigate the insurance process. This is Brooks Beeler, Lindale class 1989, and very proud to support your Lindale Eagles again this year. Find us on the web at BeelerRoofing.com or call us at 903-347-8484. Beeler Roofing, our family protecting your family from the top down for over 40 years.
Oh, he's been one of the best teammates we've had in the last 3 years. Brooks Beeler, thank you so much for the sponsorship. Tonight, Chapel Hill will kick off. Daniels will take it at the 10-yard line. Coming left to right now, reverses field up the sideline, 20, 30, 35, and out of bounds at the 37-yard line. Another great return by Patrick Daniels. Chapel Hill offense has gone like this in wins against Greenville, Nacogdoches, Palestine, Jacksonville, 69, 42, 42, and 62 points in the last 4 weeks. This offense has no problem getting in the end zone.
Holy. 6-man scores, too.
And this is directly after a loss to the Van Vandals, 23-17. Football team, so you can see some massive improvement when it comes to the offensive explosion of this Bulldog football team. Man in motion, going to fake the handoff. Thurman going to keep it himself. Left side tackle crosses the 40 up to the 43-yard line and runs right up the back of his tackle, Casey Poe. Poe leading the way, and he picks up big yardage. They'll give him 7, make that 8 yards on the carry. Thurman up for 8, 2nd and 2 now.
You know, Lindale's trying to loosen those linebackers by making some motion where it makes it look like their own little jet sweep.
They got the ball at their own 43. Now Romero in motion. Fakes it to Romero, and Clint Thurman straight up the middle for 5 more. Gets it up to the 47-yard line that time. They'll give them exactly 4. 1st and 10 Eagles. This little quarterback keeper thing, or just, I guess, laying the option at the hands of Thurman, it seems to be working right now methodically here, even that last drive and this one too.
Yeah, when they bring that guy in motion like that and they're jetting him across there as fast as he can go, it loosens those outside linebackers up a little bit because they got to worry about that outside contain. Leaves to open up in the middle.
Thurman by himself, looking to the sideline for some direction. Got a slight receiver fakes the handoff. Now he's going to go deep up the far sideline and trying to get to the football. And the defender evidently stepping in the way of Marcus Field. And the defender is not happy right now. As Darius Dean, evidently, he draws the flag. And the defensive coaches on the Chapel Hill sideline are absolutely barraging the linesman for this call.
There should be no getting after the official because he did step right in front of him to stop him from going up the field to the ball.
Well, Clint Thurman right now, 16 carries, 128 yards. And their second first down by penalty. 5:29 on the clock. Lindale 1st and 10. At the Chapel Hill 37-yard line. Man in motion. He'll fake the handoff. No, he gives it this time to Marcus Field. Field will cut it back inside to Grain, crossing the 35 up to the 32-yard line. So Field picks up 6 on the inside handoff. And Allen, this entire series, they've had no setbacks at all. They're working a whole different offensive setup here with bringing men in motion and giving the option of that inside handoff.
Well, again, what that does is that it loosens up those linebackers a little bit. And they gave it that time, and the reason they do that is because he's on a read, okay? And he's able to look a little bit and see what those linebackers are doing. If the linebackers are not squaring out there, then they hand it off to him.
Well, another Chapel Hill Bulldog is down at the 28-yard line and covered up by the training staff right now, so unable to get you a number. Alan, if you can use those seeing eyeglasses there and see if you can somehow get an eyeball on a number of this player. Second player down here, and they're going to pop him right back up. Like 24. Okay. Well, that's going to be Jaborian Cook. Cook, the sophomore linebacker. He's going to jog off the field under his own power, and now he tries to come back on the field, and his ankle gives way again, and he will now hobble back off the field.
That might be a cramp.
It might be a cramp.
The way he's holding his foot.
Okay. He's got, I think, that left calf. He's going to try to stretch that out. Lindale football right at 5 minutes. Clock stops with the injury timeout. They sit up 2nd and 5 from the 32-yard line. Maseratian, quarterback all by himself. Romero in motion. Snap back, fakes a handoff to Romero. Thurman going to keep it himself. Thurman gets popped and a form tackle, but not before he gets the first down at the 26-yard line.
That was Lee Preston who came up to make that tackle. And it's one of those, like you said, a form tackle, put him down on the ground.
Lee was celebrating, but he gave up the first down. So Thurman gets the first down for the Eagles. Trips receivers double stacked in a diamond now on the far left side, the wide side of the field. Thurman, straight drop back. Going to throw it, caught, and dropped. At the 20-yard line, Alex Romero looked up the field before he caught that football.
Yeah, and they were lucky there because sometimes when you make those passes, you remember if it's thrown behind the quarterback, that's a lateral.
Yeah.
And luckily he didn't do it that time.
Yeah, Romero almost dropped back behind the line of scrimmage where Thurman was trying to throw it at around the 32 and Alex was right at around the 31-yard line when he tried to make that catch. So incomplete pass will set up 2nd and 10 from the 25-yard line. After that interference penalty, Thurman hands off Daniels. Daniels dancing a little bit across the 25, gets good yardage. Patrick having to work his way around a couple of blockers who are pushing the blue jerseys into the defensive backfield, and Patrick working his blocks fabulously. Picks up 8, 3rd and 2 now.
Yeah, it's Kendall Allen from the backside in. They had to make the tackle from the flow.
4 minutes to go in the third period. 51-31 Chapel Hill. Long play call here. Trips receivers left side, wide side of the field. Thurman going to look right, going to throw. Patrick Daniels, one-handed catch, touchdown!
What a catch.
Patrick Daniels. Thurman had to throw it quickly. Patrick just turned upfield, going in motion, reached out with one hand, pulled it into his body at around the 10, and takes it in from 17 yards out.
They took those receivers, those outside receivers, and slanted them to the inside. They jumped on those slants because he's been in them all night, and Daniels just ran around the outside of them for the catch.
Well, plenty of circus highlight film catches tonight by the Eagle receivers. And procedure call against the Lindale Eagles immediately as the ball gets snapped. So this extra point, Seth Baggett's probably going to have to work for a little bit. They're going to mark him back 5 yards. So this extra point's going to actually be a 25-yard field goal, but it'll still be all the same. So the 17-yard reception by Patrick Daniels will be the third touchdown pass by Clint Thurman tonight. Seth Baggett pulls that kick a little bit, but not enough. It's good. 51-37, make it 51-38. Lindale trailing Chapel Hill. We come back. Lindale Eagle football continues with OnTheCall.net.
Hey, Doc Deason here, Lindale class of 1990 with Real Edge Real Estate in Tyler. You can find me online at DocDeasonRealEstate.com. You know, after this summer, anything associated with fall is going to be welcome throughout the season, especially Lindale High School football. It's an honor for me to again partner with my friend of 30 years, your play-by-play man, Kenny Smith. There's nothing in this country quite like Texas high school football, and you need to know we're partaking in a legendary pastime right now. But when the game's over, if you need some help with real estate, give me a shout. Don't hesitate. 903-262-8680. That's 262-8680. Again, I'm fellow Eagle Doc Deason. Thanks for listening.
Back at Bulldog Stadium, where it has been no lowlights of offensive production for either team. 51-38. Eagles, 13-point deficit right now, trying their best to get back to within 10, which has been their closest deficit thus far tonight. Kick is deep, and Barry will take it at the 5-yard line. Going far side to the 15, to the 20, and again, waiting for Seth Baggett to make the tackle. Baggett gets hit at the 45. Barry may be gone for the second time tonight. He hits pay dirt. Tyson Berry this time from 95 yards out. There's just gaping holes. These guys are like lightning fast, and they find the smallest of seams, Allen, and just shoot through them like a bullet.
You know, you really harp on your kicking team to go down in alleys, okay? What happens if you get man-on-man, even with these alleys, they're quick enough to scoot through those holes, and that's what's happening.
Well, every time the Eagles score, Chapel Hill is able to not only answer them but come back quickly, and they did again this time. 3:30 to go in the third period. Back to a 20-point deficit. We come back. Lindale Eagle football continues with OnTheCall.net.
The summer of 2022 has been tough on everyone, especially those that were without a top-performing HVAC system. Rose City Air was created by Will Decker and Heath Willingham after they experienced plenty of too little, too late scenarios. With two objectives in mind: service and educate consumers on the most efficient ways to maintain a healthy AC unit correctly the first time and eliminate the anxiety of second and third opinions and repairs. Rose City Air takes the time to show you the complexities of maintaining a top-notch HVAC system while the estimate and assessment is being done. Rose City Air's free estimates, 24-hour no-hassle emergency services, low-cost maintenance agreements, and discounts for veterans, first responders, and educators are why Rose City Air wants to service your home or business whenever the need arises. 903-630-4343 or go to rosecityairtx.com.
Oh, my. They go back and forth. 3:30 to go in this third period. Kenny Smith, Coach Alan Phillips, and Stuart Campion. They will kick it, squib kick, 2 hops. It'll be taken at the 12-yard line by Michael Shannon. Shannon going far side, gets a block by Patrick Daniels, 30, 35. Shannon still on his feet, spins out of a potential tackle and tripped up at the 35, stretching out to the 37-yard line. Shannon with his second return of the night gives Lindale, again, good position. Alan, just like Stuart was just explaining, methodical downfield, good drives, on the ground, couple of passes, ends up 17-yard touchdown catch by Patrick Daniels, and then immediately offense is back on the field.
Your offense gets tired just like your defense. You know, you're
Yeah.
always worried about your defense out there too much. Right now, the offense is out there too much. But again, they got a match, you know, score for score right now to stay in this ball game.
Well, Sid Landon Sullivan in motion will stop the right side. Devin Daniels on the field now. Daniels, big hole across the 45 up close to midfield. Daniels will pick up 10, maybe 12. They'll mark him at the 48. It'll be a 12-yard pickup. Devin Daniels, first down, Lindale.
You know, Jabari Cook was in on the tackle, but he's hobbling off again. I think he's the same one all ago that had the problems.
Yep, he got off as quick as he could, too. Alex Romero moves from the left side to the right. He will set up in the slot. Ball in the far hash. Sullivan in motion now. Straight drop back. Going to flare it out, this time to Devin Daniels. Daniels reaches, drops the football, pulls it back in. Okay, well, he came down right at the 45-yard line. All right, well, he pulled the football back in. And then I was distracted because a Chapel Hill Bulldog grabbed what looked like a hat or a towel and threw it off the field. Straight drop back, play fake. Thurman passes, caught. Far sideline. Check and see if that's going to be Field or Moriarty. It'll be Marcus Field. Field takes it from the 48 up to the 35-yard line. 13-yard reception to Field and another first down for the Eagles.
Well, they're rolling those plays fast.
9 first downs in this third period already. Clint Thurman, quarterback draw. Going left, going right. Goes straight back up the middle after hanging right and gets it across the 30. And now 2 Chapel Hill Bulldogs collide in the defensive backfield. Looks like Davion Ross and Dylan Johnson collided. Johnson went down, and he will get up. Well, it's not Johnson. It'll be Lee Preston. He'll get up. It will be Johnson jogging off the field now.
Is that a coach out there in the middle of that?
Yes.
I guess the official told me he had to leave. This cool weather might be making them where they don't.
I think it is. Because we see Drew Harmon also on the sideline, and he's stretching. Senior DB. 2nd and 4 after the 6-yard run. Handoff, Daniels. Daniels taking it across the 25, and then we'll get driven back. We'll see where the forward progress is. They're actually going to say forward progress at the 27. So he'll only pick up maybe a yard. They'll move the stick a yard. So it'll set up a 3rd and a long 2 for the Lindale offense. Still receivers to the right side. Snap back. Handoff, Daniels. Daniels right up the middle. Has to drive it past the 25-yard line. And we got a flag down on the far sideline at the snap of the football. A lot of Chapel Hill coaches are out, so this is going to come down in the area of procedure. It'll be a legal substitution. That is why the Chapel Hill coaching staff was out screaming. It'll be a legal substitution, and that is a great penalty for the Lindale Eagles as they were a yard short of the first down.
Well, Lindale's going awful fast. They're going, up on the line. They're getting their calls. They're making a play. And I think that some of the Chapel Hill players are hobbling around getting caught.
Well, Lindale gets another first down by penalty. Snap back, 1st and 10, Daniels. Fake handoff. Pass inside the inside receiver to Alex Romero again. And Alex, I'm telling you, this guy is brave. He is going across the middle and taking shot after shot. He makes the catch. He gets hit. Playing quickly. Handoff, Patrick Daniels. Daniels across the 10, maybe to the 9-yard line.
They're going so fast I can't even comment on the play before.
Yeah, I know. That catch by Romero is 12 or 13 yards. And now immediately they're going to blow the whistle. Clint Thurman thought he had a free play. But it's going to be a Chapel Hill. Jeff Reardon's going to call a timeout, and he must have seen it or heard it, or maybe saw it coming. 58-38 is our score. Timeout by Reardon right now. And that playing fast, Alan, you just mentioned, I think probably forced Reardon into calling that timeout. He was starting to get, his defensive players were starting to get out of position.
Yeah, they probably not only getting out of position, and, like we said before, some of them are getting a little hobbled out there, and they're hobbling on, hobbling off.
Yeah.
And Lindale's ability to move the ball, it seems like I remember somewhere in my talking to someone that they get a little lackadaisical sometimes on defense, and so that might be what we're catching right there.
Yeah.
That Chapel Hill, just sort of we're up. Let's,
Well, we can't blame the hydration situation on the cramps. The temperature has dropped rather rapidly at the stadium, as we were expecting temperature to be down in the mid to upper 60s before the end of the ball game.
This is the first real football weather game.
Yeah, it's the first time it's really felt like football. We're all wearing our parkas, our zip-up hoodies.
Of course, Stewart's still in his shorts.
Yeah,
you know,
that's okay. He's a Seattle guy. He hardly ever gets cold anyway. 43 seconds to go, third period. Back out of the timeout. 2nd and 9. This time from the 9-yard line. Thurman keeps it himself. Cross the 5. Clint Thurman fighting for yardage. Crossing the 5, inside the 5, down to the 3. Clint Thurman picks up 7 yards on the carry and gets Lindale again inside the 5-yard line, threatening. Still down by 20. 58-38 is our score with 24 seconds to go. Thurman keeps it again. Gets caught from behind this time. And great pursuit coming in from the outside that time by Chapel Hill senior linebacker Daniel Waddleton, who went out hurt earlier. Waddleton comes back in and makes a tackle and pulls Clint down after a 1-yard gain. Well, they say he got enough for the first down, so 1st and goal now. They're going to let the clock run down as the quarter will end. And not sure the Lindale offense knew exactly where the clock was or if it was going to start. Third quarter comes to a close. 58-38. Chapel Hill Bulldogs, we come back. Lindale football continues with OnTheCall.net.
Backing the Lindale Football Eagles now as he did back then. Eagle Chiropractic is owned and operated by former Lindale Eagles center, Dr. Shane Allen. A class of 1989 graduate, Dr. Allen is an expert in chiropractic and nutritional health counseling. His expertise in these areas assists him in helping patients reduce and even eliminate migraine headaches, neck pain, back pain, and joint pain of all levels, both acute and chronic. Eagle Chiropractic offers therapeutic exercises, nutritional supplements, and analgesic creams, along with educational consultations and follow-up to assure continued support and confidence in a healthy lifestyle that is pain-free. Eagle Chiropractic, Highway 69 in Lindale, open Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or Saturdays. Call for an appointment and consultation at 903-881-5172. Eagle Chiropractic, making people better every day.
Back at Bulldog Stadium, Lindale Eagles knocking on the door again inside the 5-yard line. As the fourth period just getting underway, and Clint Thurman brings out his offense. Setting him up 1st and goal from the 1-yard line. Thurman turns around, hands off Devin Daniels, and he is pulled down for about a 2-yard loss back to the 3-yard line. Penetration by the Chapel Hill defense this time, and I think getting the first time, Drew Harmon, the first guy back there. So 2nd and goal. Thurman with Devin to his left side. Marcus Field, the lone receiver. He'll move Devin Daniels to the right side now. Double tight end. Thurman will follow him into the hole, and the Chapel Hill defense will stop him, pushes him back to the 4. Thurman pulls all 3 guys back up to the 1-yard line.
Did you see a mass of humans just slide to the right? Davion Ross is the one that made the tackle on his, and Thurman was just pulling him along.
Lindale with their 22 first downs now, and trying their best to punch this one in. 3rd and goal from the 1.5, maybe 2-yard line. High snap. Thurman gets hit sideways, can't stay on his feet, and they'll force a 4th and goal from the 1-yard line. That time he was pushed sideways by Trevor Brooks and just lost his footing and unable to stay on his feet to score.
Yeah, when he did that, Daniel Waddleton was able to make the tackle.
Well, Patrick Daniels into the ball game. Devin comes off. Clint Thurman comes to the sideline to take the play call. They'll huddle up at the 6. Out of the huddle we go. 4th and goal from the 1. Thurman with Patrick Daniels behind him. He'll fake the handoff, rolls to his left, stops, throws, caught, touchdown. You got to be kidding me.
I don't know how he caught that.
You got to be kidding me. Oh, my gosh. It's going to be Carson Plunkett with the touchdown. Thurman threw that ball so far inside, Plunkett had to dive backward to catch that football, and Carson Plunkett scores his first touchdown of the year.
I really thought it was going to be picked off right there because of the proximity of the defensive back. Up there we go, another cramp, Kenny.
Well, down on the play is the guy that was guarding Carson Plunkett, and he's down getting stretched out. Another cramp for the Chapel Hill Bulldogs. And right now it's just a compliment to the Lindale training staff right now that there's not been a single Eagle go down with a cramp problem right now. But Carson Plunkett
He may have just been jealous of the fact that Alex Romero and Marcus Field have been such circus high wire acts.
So he made one of his own?
Yeah. It was a great play call as Plunkett was all by himself. But Clint Thurman had to throw the ball back to Carson Plunkett's left, and Plunkett went parallel. Somehow kept that football from falling and touching the turf and gets the score.
Well, their offensive set on that is that they have, it's like a nasty slot is what people call it. They have a tight end and then a slot guy between a tight end and a tackle on one side. Then they have what looks like the same thing on the other side. And they've been running it in that formation. And that time they pulled it up, did a little play-action pass, and took him out in the flat.
Seth Baggett will try to get them again within a couple of scores. Kick is up, and Seth Baggett's point after is good. Well, they're looking for a defensive stop somehow. 58-45. Chapel Hill over Lindale when we come back. Lindale Eagle football continues on thecall.net.
Alford's Tire Brake and Alignment is going all in with the 2022 Lindale Eagles. Safety first is not only common sense when it comes to your transportation, it should be the top priority anytime it comes to the overall protection of your family. Safety checks on your basic brake and tire conditions or need for maintenance on your AC system is paramount during the heat of a 2022 summer. Alford's Tire Brake and Alignment puts the entire family name behind making sure you stay stress-free on the road year-round. You'll find tire replacements for all size tires, even lawn mowers. Lift kits and auto accessories are installed right there. And in some cases, while you wait, Alford's Tire Brake and Alignment, Highway 69, 4 miles south of I-20 in Tyler. AlfordsBrakeandAlignment.com.
Lindale Eagles will go home next week to take on Palestine, and Chapel Hill will head to Henderson next week. Will be the matchups next week. Lindale Eagles trying to make something happen here defensively. Kick is going to be short and taken at the 23-yard line. Trying to reverse field and a great ankle tackle this time. I think it'll be Hudson LeGros with the tackle back at the 26-yard line. Boy, the first time they've really been able to penetrate this kick return team for Chapel Hill.
Yeah, they didn't kick it deep that time. They did a little high kick to about the 20-yard line. I thought he was going to get loose of that one, but LeGros was able to hang on to them shoelaces.
Well, I tell you, between John Curtin and Charles LeBaron, man, they are having one heck of a fun time listening to this broadcast, and we're loving it. 10:13 to go, 58-45. Chapel Hill football. Inside handoff, Ricky Stewart. Stewart gets tackled. No. Yes, he will now. A lot of help from a lot of white jerseys. Jake Curbo starts it off, and Levi Thornton finishes it up at the 25-yard line. No gain.
That was a perfect show of what a fit should look like as that runner tried to get to the outside. The secondary guys contained the block from the outside, made him turn back inside. Jake Curbo may come from the inside out.
Well, defense is finally getting a little bit of help from the Cowbells in the stands. High snap, handoff inside, Barry. Tyson has to reverse field, finds a hole 25-30, outside to the 35-40, and nobody in front of him midfield. 40, 30, 20, 10, touchdown, Chapel Hill. Oh my gosh. 74-yard run for Chapel Hill, and big plays.
You know, I got a feel for Lindale because they were there, and it was the quickness and the hopping that he was able to do. I thought Jake Curbo was fixing to take his head off, and then he just sort of hopped to the side, and off he went.
Well, Tyson Berry, 74-yard run, 95-yard kickoff return, a 90-yard kickoff return, and a paltry 1-yard run. Campos kicks it up, and it ends up in the trees in someone else's pasture. Tack on 7 for the Chapel Hill Bulldogs, and they extend their incredible offensive output. 62 a week ago, 65-45. 9:42 to go in this ball game when we come back. Lindale Eagle football continues with onthecall.net.
A showroom almost as big as a football field. Really? Office Barn in Tyler.
A ridiculous amount of inventory at Office Barn. New and gently used office furniture.
More desks than the Pentagon.
Any style of desk imaginable. Desk as low as $50.
Office chairs.
Over 1,000 chairs in stock of all kinds from $20 to $2,000.
Conference room tables.
Biggest selection of new and used conference tables we've had in a long time.
Low cubicle prices.
Really stylish cubicles and workstations with space planning, delivery, and install.
Office Barn in Tyler.
We ship anywhere with next day delivery in East Texas. Buy it in the box and save even more. Discounts for nonprofits, veterans, and first responders.
Between Tyler and Lindale on Highway 69. Across from the big American flag.
Call or text us. It's the same number, 903-881-0340.
Office Barn in Tyler.
Office Barn.
Capos kicks it deep. It'll be taken at the goal line by Michael Shannon to the 10 to the 15, looking for a hole. 20, 25. Michael Shannon across the 25, and he carries it backward 3 more yards up to the 28-yard line. Good return by Michael Shannon. You know what, Alan, you just mentioned it. When you go from the teaching aspect to the coaching aspect to the human aspect for the Lindale coaching staff, you just witnessed it yourself.
Yeah, I did it because even though that Lindale has their problems out there, I saw one of the coaches. Help me out here. I done went blank dead.
Yeah, I think it was Coach Cochran that had him.
Put his arm around and talking to him.
Yep. High snap. Boy, Thurman barely gets his hands on it. Complete to Landon Sullivan across the 30 to the 32-yard line. Boy, Sullivan got hit immediately by one of those Chapel Hill Bulldogs that had cramps earlier. And there's like 4 of them now.
I was fixing to say, there's...
Yeah. That time he got hit by Jaborian Cook. Not before Sullivan picks up his second catch of the night. Thurman fakes it, gonna throw deep, got a man wide open and over the head of Alex Romero. And Clint Thurman cannot be happy with himself right there as Romero was wide open and Clint threw it about a yard too far out of bounds for Romero to reach it.
Well, 2 things happened on that. They faked that little quick screen and the slant going across and took the inside receiver, took it on the sideline. Jaborian Cook, the guy who's been having trouble with those cramps, was the one covering. His old cramps came into contact.
Oh, my. Snap back, Thurman going to keep it himself. Cross the 35. Thurman with a burst of speed across the 40. Thurman bounces off 2 blue jerseys and somehow rolls off of that, ends up on his feet.
I don't think he ever went down, is what he was trying to say.
1st and 10 Eagles. Lindale on the move, playing quickly. Thurman takes a snap, rolling to his left, will throw to his left. Caught by Alex Romero, and Romero is blown up again. And ball will come out of his hands as he is popped again. He is taking punishment. Drew Harmon that time will knock the ball out of his hands, but Alex is going to be sore tomorrow. But the guys made some fantastic catches in traffic across the middle tonight.
Well, like you said, Drew Harmon timed it just right, hit him, knock that ball out.
Thurman snap back, hands off Devin Daniels. Daniels is stopped at the line of scrimmage also. He might pick up a couple. They'll move him up. I'll give him 2, make that just short of 3 yards. So a couple for Devin Daniels after the incompletion. 3rd and a long 8. Sullivan and Romero. Split out wide to the left. Ball in the far hash mark. So wide side of the field, they split 3 receivers. Marcus Field to wide out. Moriarty, who is catchless tonight, to the right side. Thurman thought about throwing it. Now he'll scramble. Going to roll to his right and gets hit around the ankles at the 45 and only can pick up 2 yards.
Yeah, Trevor Brooks was there. When he brought that ball down and starts to run to the outside, Trevor Brooks, who's one of their linebackers, was making a tackle. Another one of the sophomores on Chapel Hill's team.
Well, clock continues to roll now, and decision time for the Lindale Eagles. They're going to leave their offense on the field with a 4th and 7 from the 45-yard line. They'll set up trips receivers left side. 4th and 7. Down by 20. Patrick Daniels to the left to Clint Thurman. Looking to the sideline. 5 on the play clock. They'll move Patrick Daniels to the left. They got to hurry. 1 on the play clock. Snap back. Thurman, pump fake. Now he's going to throw up the sideline looking for a fade route. And Daniels cannot get beyond the defensive back. And it'll go turnover on downs on the incompletion. Daniels looked like he had an opportunity to turn up the sideline, but he had to move around the defensive back and could not catch up with that pass by Thurman.
You know, and part of me as an old defensive coordinator thinking that's a great play, but the other part of me is going, dude, is that pass interference or not?
Yeah.
You know?
Well, it looked like he impeded the advancement of Patrick Daniels. But Chapel Hill will get the football back in a short field. Faking the handoff, Brisbane takes it himself upfield to the 45, and he'll run out of bounds at the 41-yard line, stopping the clock with 7:17 to go.
I'm going to tell you one thing that Brisbane does very well is that, for example, when he pulled that down start to the outside, he set up his outside receiver making the block, caving his man to the inside so Brisbane could go to the outside.
2nd and 6 after the pickup. Hand up to Stewart. Stewart right up the middle, breaking a tackle at the 35, still on his feet across the 30 to the 29. Will move the change. Chapel Hill first down at the Lindale 31, right at top of the 30-yard line. So a 15-yard pickup by Ricky Stewart will set him up 1st and 10.
Yeah, White Parker was there to make the tackle on that play from his linebacker spot.
They have actually not needed Stewart and his running today, as they have had 3 different special teams touchdowns. Straight drop back. Brisbane thought about it. Now he's going to throw it up for grabs. He ends up hurling it out of bounds. And no flag on the play by the referee for intentional grounding, as
you know what has to happen on that. He has to be outside
I saw you
the tackles.
flailing over here, Alan, like how in the world is there not a flag? And
he has to be outside the tackles for it not to be that. I tell you what, there should have been a flag on there, but they're lucky because if you look right now walking back.
Okay, they're picking the flag up in the defense. Okay,
yeah,
it's off the field. Okay.
I want you to look right here walking back. I think that is number 1. He was wide open. Chapel Hill's number 1 was wide open up the right side.
Well, they are going to – that may be who Brisbane was looking for, but they are going to call him for intentional grounding. They'll bring it back, loss of down. So a huge loss for Chapel Hill and a great gain for the Eagles. As, boy, by the time Brisbane turned and saw Tyson Berry by himself at around the 5-yard line, he got slung down by Ryan Stanton in the backfield. So they'll set up 2nd, and now flag comes down. Too many men in motion. Procedure call will go against Chapel Hill. So they lose 15 on the last play and now 5 on the procedure call. Boy, you couldn't ask for better timing for the Lindale defense.
I was fixing to say they played almost perfect the whole night, and now maybe a few mistakes from them.
Well, they've just had so darn many big plays. Stewart was alluding to during the last timeout is you take the, obviously anytime, you take the big plays out, the game's closer, but boy, speed and athleticism has really overtaken the Eagles here. High snap, but Stewart gets the handoff straight up the middle, breaks the tackle at the 40 to the 30 to the 20 to the 10, and knocked out of bounds inside the 10-yard line at the 7. As Stewart will take it all the way from midfield down to the 7. That'll be around a 43-yard pickup.
You know, Stewart just found a little opening on the right side. It was pretty well caved down, found a little opening at the right side, and used that speed to go up the outside to the sideline. I'm telling you what, there's no substitute for quickness and speed.
Well, they're threatening to go up by more than 20 now, as after the 3-and-out or the turnover on downs by the Eagles. Chapel Hill now inside the 10, 1st and goal. Snap to Brisbane. Will hand off. It'll be reversed to Tyson Berry. Berry taking it the outside to the 5. Will leap over his own men in for the touchdown. So Berry takes it in from 8 yards out. That is his 4th cash in tonight with 5:53 to go.
You know, Cade Hottie was hot on his tail, but you can tell real quick that Cade Hottie could not match that.
Big speed difference right there.
Yes, because he just turned. He just took off. It's almost like a dragster taking off away from him.
Well, Cade dove for him and tried with everything he had. Tried to bring him down from behind, but well, Tyson Berry and Ricky Stewart both are so darn fast. Flag down now. They're going to do a false start against Chapel Hill, so they'll back them up 5 yards.
I would like to know how big Tyson Berry is. He doesn't look very big, but he is quick as a cat.
Lindale's run 84 plays to Chapel Hill's 35. Kicks up and good. And Chapel Hill will move it to 72-45. Chapel Hill Bulldogs. We come back. Lindale Eagle football continues with OnTheCall.net.
If you're looking to advance and improve your baseball or softball skills and overall game with the hopes of moving on to the next level, Marucci Elite East Texas is the premier select organization to do just that. Hi folks, I'm Derek Kraft, current minor league pitcher for the New York Yankees and coach for Marucci Elite. Head coaches Mike Holichuk and Jeff Casey take over 35 years of coaching experience to the field each year, showcasing East Texas's finest baseball and softball talent. Marucci Elite East Texas has proven itself to be the best at directly focusing on player development and the recruitment of its athletes. You can follow them anytime and learn more about Marucci Elite East Texas through Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter at METXETX. That's METXETX for Marucci Elite East Texas.
Woo! I was almost sure I was about to send Alan Phillips into stroke-like conditions. 74 plays instead of 84. That's still a lot of plays. 72-45 ball game. Lindale Eagles will take it. Michael Shannon at the 3-yard line trying to get wide. He gets wide to the 20. And, boy, was so far, that ball was kicked so high, it took it forever to come down to Michael Shannon to get that play started.
He's really got a leg on him. You know, just watching him kick off. I saw him take 2 steps earlier and kick it to the end zone.
Yep. Aiden Campos is finally a junior, as he had a heck of a leg a year ago as well. So Lindale Eagles, and it's hard to describe when you're just trying to call the game. This is really a game you're going to have to talk to people that were here watching what we're witnessing tonight as the Lindale contingent remain in their seats tonight. We've seen very few leave their seats. Pass caught, Romero open at the 35-yard line. Great effort by Alex Romero. Steps out of bounds at the 42-yard line. Not before he picks up 17 yards on the catch. And, boy, great pass laid in there by Clint Thurman.
That was a great play perception. They took the outside receiver and slanted him and took that guy in motion, brought him up the sideline.
Dual receivers left and right. Pass is thrown and almost intercepted. As Marcus Field and Landon Sullivan were right inside each other's pockets right there on the pass.
Those two guys looked like they were trying to block, and nobody turned for the ball.
Yeah, I'm not real sure. They thought somebody, maybe Marcus Field, I think, is being talked. I think he was the back that was the receiver was supposed to back up and take that pass. Sullivan had the blocking responsibilities there, just a busted play. Thurman looking down the middle of the field. Now he's going to go deep. Got a man down there and also a receiver and a defender, and Chapel Hill may have come up with an interception. And it'll be a completed interception, and that time it'll come down in the hands of Drew Harmon. Thurman just put a little more mustard on that football than Marcus Field could catch up with. And with Harmon back behind the receiver, he had a couple of steps on Marcus Field, was in perfect position to take that interception.
Well, it almost looked like he was a receiver because of their speed. He's able to chase it down. I'm going to tell you what, Kenny, I don't know if I've ever been a part of a game that's 72-45.
No. 2 years ago in the playoff game at College Station, and I cannot remember the opponents, but we witnessed Jordan Jenkins score 9 touchdowns in that football game alone, and Lindale's walk to the state championship game. Handoff going to go their backup running back, and another quick running back going to take the snap, and still on his feet. Now ball finally comes out. They're going to break the ball loose a bit. We're going to see who comes up off the bottom of that pile, because it'll be a brand new running back in the backfield. Okay, it'll be number 10. So thank you, sir. Quentin Greenlee will be the running back. Grand total of 117 points scored tonight. I have a feeling that Texas State Network and the guys on the scoreboard show are going to be talking about this game. Snap back, and it doesn't quite get back to the quarterback. Well, as the ball's loose, Brisbane, and finally the umpire has to run in and separate the players as they continue to blow the whistle, and Brisbane had to run up and grab the football as the center didn't get it back to the quarterback, just kind of dribbled back there.
You know, Chapel Hill still on their, pretty hurry-up offense, looking over there and getting a play and then running a play. You would think being up like they were, they'd want to run that clock down some.
Well, Tyson Berry luckily is not on the football field for the Lindale Eagles. Brisbane, nope, there he is. Tyson Berry with the inside handoff, going to run it far side. still on the sideline, is still on his feet, cuts upfield, breaks the tackle at midfield. Lindale defender falls down, and Tyson Berry's going to go the distance. You got to be kidding me. 79 yards. Tyson Berry takes the handoff, breaks 2 tackles, moves around 2 different defenders on his way to the end zone. 79 yards later.
And I think he ran out of steam at about 25, and he had to really reach in to finish the run. He's had so many long runs, I think he's tired.
Yeah. Well, this might be a good time for for Coach Reardon to probably give him the rest of the night off. Campos' extra point is up, and not surprising, is perfect. Tyson Berry has scored the last 4 touchdowns for this football team. 95-yard kickoff return, a 74-yard run, an 8-yard run, and now a 79-yard run. Timeout on the field. We come back. Lindale Eagles trailing 79-45 when we return. Lindale Eagle football continues with OnTheCall.net.
You're listening to the Koi Sessions from Brisket Love Barbecue and Ice House.
All right, Coy, let's take it from the top.
Let's see. Brisket Love Barbecue and...
Again.
Brisket Love Barbecue and...
Again.
Brisket Love Barbecue and...
Again.
Texas Monthly, twice in a row, said we're some of the best barbecue in East Texas. So we want you to come see us. Remember, you stay for the food, you come for the experience.
I think we got it.
Brisket Love Barbecue and Ice House. Yeah.
Maybe not.
Oh my, we may need another water up here. 3:53 to go in this ball game, and Lindale can't give their defense any more of a break than they deserve right now, because they have been working their butts off all night just trying to catch these guys in blue jerseys. Michael Shannon with the return, 20-25. Gets up into the inside, just short of the 30-yard line of the 29. Michael Shannon with a return for the Eagles. Will set them up 1st and 10 at their own 29-yard line.
Well, Drew Harmon made the tackle that time. Lindale's, kickoff team, return team has not done a bad job tonight.
No.
It's just they have not had the speed that Chapel Hill has had to take advantage of those little holes they can get through.
Tyson Berry's rushing numbers have got to be crazy right now. Just crazy, Stuart. Last 4 touchdowns, 160 yards. 2 of them kickoff returns for today in the last 3 runs. 160 yards. Clint Thurman having to reverse his field will now try to throw it out of bounds. And it will not quite make it out of bounds, but he's outside the tackles. And Alan, they're going to verify this with the linesman. He's going to tell the referee, well, no, the referee's pulling his flag out of us.
Did have a hold of him?
Okay, he had a hold of him, yep. So they're going to call the intentional grounding against Clint Thurman as he was running for his life towards the near sideline. And it'll be a loss of down against the Eagles with 3:35 to go. And boy, Thurman's just trying to stay alive right now in the backfield. A lot of substitutions on the field right now for Chapel Hill. Looking at the Lindale offense, Thurman looking down the middle of the field, waiting for a receiver to break. Will throw down the middle of the field and got. Well, Patrick Daniels is wide open at the 45-yard line, and make that Ethan Moriarty. And Moriarty, not real sure he even saw the ball coming there for a minute.
I'm like with Stewart. I don't know if he saw the ball.
Because Moriarty did not make much of an effort to catch that football. I'm not sure he knew that football was coming, though he was by himself. He was open. Thurman going to try a long pass again down the near sideline. Marcus Field trying to go across the defender, and an interference call will be made. Flag comes down. Marcus Field making a good effort to try to reach around the defender that time. Darius Dean again covering. Dean was the one that he got burned once tonight, but moved over on Marcus Field, and that time had pretty darn good position. But Field, he was kind of stopping Field's I guess, advance towards the football on the pass.
Yeah, I held him a little bit to keep him going there.
Well, 10-yard penalty against Chapel Hill will be their fourth in this fourth period. Thurman back to pass again. He's got to scramble. Now he'll run. Now he's going to throw it way out of bounds. Almost takes out a water jug. Nobody to throw to. Landon Sullivan double-teamed on the near sideline. Marcus Field was manned up against Dean down the middle of the field, and he was covered up as well. So Thurman just threw it out of bounds, incomplete. We'll go ahead and read this to y'all again. 79-45, Chapel Hill.
Unbelievable.
And there's times during this football game, and I think most of the visiting crowd will tell you the same, it does not look like it's this lopsided. With as long as Lindale has had the football, they have played very well at times. Going to throw the fade pattern again to Alex Romero. Romero with a great catch, falling out of bounds inside Chapel Hill territory at the 47-yard line.
Same play they've been running. They bring that guy in motion across from the right side across to the left side, slant the outside receivers, and he's open as he goes around them.
18-yard pickup by Romero. 1st and 10 Eagles. Going right to left. Thurman will throw. Sideline pattern again. Alex Romero. Okay, still got the football. Caught by Romero at the 39-yard line. They'll give him 7 on the reception. Thurman will hit him on the sideline route on the far side. Boy, Alex is going left to right.
Yeah, they sprinted him out that time, got him away from the inside of those interior linemen and sprinted him outside the tackle to make that pass.
Christian Weidman will give Romero a little bit of a break. Weidman sits up in the slot left. Snap back. Thurman looking left, going to throw left. Long down the middle of the field and outside the reach of Marcus Field. And Field again. Dean back there defending again. And Field this time watching the ball go over his head. And luckily over Dean's head as well. Clock stopped at 2:54 to go in this contest. And 3rd and 3.
That one was a little scary. He threw it up a little bit. I thought it was going to get picked up. He's trying to make something happen, though. And
well, the Chapel Hill defensive backs are keeping the receivers in front of them on these deep routes. Marcus Field has just made 2 outstanding catches tonight. Broken play. Clint Thurman tried the play fake to the left side. Running back went to the right, and Moriarty was the intended receiver along with Christian Weidman on down the right side. Outside the numbers, and ball will just flutter out of bounds from Clint Thurman. As once again he tried to do the play fake to the left. Patrick Daniels went to the right, so Thurman just turned around and tried to find an open man down the sideline.
Yeah, Quentin Greenlee was in there pretty quick to give him a little pressure, so he had to get rid of it.
Well, they continue to work it. Thurman takes a snap, trying to move inside, and boy, the backside blue jerseys will convene all over the top of Clint Thurman, and on a 4th and 3, Thurman gets caught from behind after a gain of 2. They'll fall a yard short on the 4th and short and have to turn the ball back over to Chapel Hill with 2:42 to go.
Be interesting what happens right here, whether they'll just sort of try to run the clock out or if they'll try to put the hammer down.
Well, I know for a lot of people on the other end of the microphone are pretty sure that Jeff Reardon is probably not going to take a few knees here. But they will come out of the possession change and bring Lonzo McGregor in to play quarterback. He'll hand off. Running back will fall to the ground about 4 yards deep in the backfield. That'll be Quentin Greenlee. Took the handoff, and I think the possibility that McGregor may have stepped on his foot as he handed the football off because Greenlee went down immediately. So it'll be a loss of 3 yards back to the 35-yard line. And clock continues to roll.
Yeah, they've slowed them down a lot now.
All right, well, they are slowing it down, but 4 receivers split out wide to the left side with McGregor in the backfield, Greenlee to his right side. They're using all of this play clock, man in motion. Handoff inside 35 and pulled down right there, and no pulling. A bunch of Lindale Eagles, 5 extra yards across the 40 to the 41-yard line. It'll be DJ Williams. Williams with the carry. And side judge coming in blowing the whistle. I'm not sure anybody blew their whistle more than maybe a half a blow, as nobody stopped playing there for a while.
Yeah, they were like, I don't know, rolling around on the ground like who has the ball. And Yeah.
It's a pickup of 3 for DJ Williams.
As Stewart said, it's mud wrestling, but in this case, I guess it'd be AstroTurf wrestling.
It looked a little scary there. Minute 21 to go, and Chapel Hill is letting this clock run as much as possible. McGregor in the backfield. Dual receivers to the left, dual 2 to the right. Handoff to Greenlee, going to go far right or far left. Will jump over his own man, break and tackle at midfield, 45-yard line, and big pickup by Greenlee this time. They'll take it, we'll see. 22 yards for Greenlee on the pickup. 1st and 10, Chapel Hill with 1:02 to go.
He had to jump up and hurdle one guy, and if he wouldn't have done that, he might have scored.
This team is just full of athletes,
I've never seen anything like it.
I'm telling you.
I was very impressed last week with Kilgore and their size, but these guys are quicker than anybody I've ever seen.
Yeah, the receivers, I'm pretty sure you've got sub 4'6", 4'5" receivers and quarterbacks and running backs, backups as well. McGregor handoff, Greenlee straight up the middle, stop for a gain of 1. Down at the 36-yard line with the clock continuing to roll. Bulldogs with 2 timeouts. Chris Cochran with 3 of his. Nobody will need any of those. 79-45 Chapel Hill right now. Clock down under 40 seconds, and the Chapel Hill Bulldogs will take a knee and end this ball game. And unfortunately, McGregor didn't take a knee at the line of scrimmage. He backed up about 5 yards and took a knee. So Lindale Eagles will see their season record evened up at 4 wins and 4 losses apiece, and they will go to 2-2 in district play. It is an unbelievable offensive explosion tonight for the Chapel Hill Bulldogs. 79-45 over the Lindale Eagles. We'll wrap things up when we come back. You're listening to Lindale Eagle Football with OnTheCall.net.
It's halftime of tonight's game broadcast.
You come for the food and you stay for the experience. Brisket Love Barbecue and Ice House, a mile off Interstate 20 on FM 849 in Lindale. Come hungry because the barbecue portions are generous and the atmosphere is the best in East Texas, including live music on the stage in Hackberry Hall. Brisket Love Barbecue and Ice House combines great barbecue, craft beers, signature cocktails, and live music for a one-of-a-kind experience. Brisket Love Barbecue and Ice House, 15338 FM 849 in Lindale, and on the web at brisketlovetx.com.
Backing the Lindale Football Eagles now as he did back then. Eagle Chiropractic is owned and operated by former Lindale Eagles center, Dr. Shane Allen. A class of 1989 graduate, Dr. Allen is an expert in chiropractic and nutritional health counseling. His expertise in these areas assist him in helping patients reduce and even eliminate migraine headaches, neck pain, back pain, and joint pain of all levels, both acute and chronic. Eagle Chiropractic offers therapeutic exercises, nutritional supplements, and analgesic creams, along with educational consultations and follow-up to assure continued support and confidence in a healthy lifestyle that is pain-free. Eagle Chiropractic, Highway 69 in Lindale, open Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or Saturdays. Call for an appointment and consultation at 903-881-5172. Eagle Chiropractic, making people better every day.
If you're looking to advance and improve your baseball or softball skills and overall game with the hopes of moving on to the next level, Marucci Elite East Texas is the premier select organization to do just that. Hi folks, I'm Derek Kraft, current minor league pitcher for the New York Yankees and coach for Marucci Elite. Head coaches Mike Holichuk and Jeff Casey take over 35 years of coaching experience to the field each year, showcasing East Texas's finest baseball and softball talent. Marucci Elite East Texas has proven itself to be the best at directly focusing on player development and the recruitment of its athletes. You can follow them anytime and learn more about Marucci Elite East Texas through Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter at METXETX. That's METXETX for Marucci Elite East Texas.
It's like moving from an old office into a brand new office. Trade up your current office furniture to brand new furniture from Office Barn in Tyler.
Office Barn buys new and used furniture by the truckloads.
We will also upgrade the look of your office by exchanging your current furniture for new digs.
Maximize your office space with our space planning services, including field measurement, design, and a 3D diagram. Office Barn can even reconfigure existing cubicles or office space.
More desks than the Pentagon. 1,000 plus chairs, conference room tables, lobby furniture, storage cabinets, cubicles.
I'm John Longcrier. We ship anywhere with next day delivery in East Texas. Buy it in the box and save even more. Discounts for nonprofits, veterans, and first responders. Plus, office moving done right the first time.
Between Lindale and Tyler on Highway 69, across from the big American flag.
You name it, OB stocks it.
Office Barn.
The summer of 2022 has been tough on everyone, especially those that were without a top-performing HVAC system. Rose City Air was created by Will Decker and Heath Willingham after they experienced plenty of too little, too late scenarios. With two objectives in mind: service and educate consumers on the most efficient ways to maintain a healthy AC unit correctly the first time and eliminate the anxiety of second and third opinions and repairs. Rose City Air takes the time to show you the complexities of maintaining a top-notch HVAC system while the estimate and assessment is being done. Rose City Air's free estimates, 24-hour no-hassle emergency services, low-cost maintenance agreements, and discounts for veterans, first responders, and educators are why Rose City Air wants to service your home or business whenever the need arises. 903-630-4343 or go to rosecityairtx.com.
You know that old saying that a man's number one job is to protect his family? Well, that's exactly what my dad had in mind when he founded Beeler Roofing in the late 1970s. Well, now it's 2022 and it's still the backbone of why Beeler Roofing continues to take care of families and businesses' new roofs, full roof replacements, and even simple roof repairs. We still welcome a good old personal phone call to set up a free roof assessment, and we take a lot of pride and enjoyment from making our customers feel better about being home. Plus, we can even help you navigate the insurance process. This is Brooks Beeler, Lindale class 1989, and very proud to support your Lindale Eagles again this year. Find us on the web at BeelerRoofing.com or call us at 903-347-8484. Beeler Roofing, our family protecting your family from the top down for over 40 years.
Alford's Tire Brake and Alignment is going all in with the 2022 Lindale Eagles. Safety first is not only common sense when it comes to your transportation, it should be the top priority anytime it comes to the overall protection of your family. Safety checks on your basic brake and tire conditions or need for maintenance on your AC system is paramount during the heat of a 2022 summer. Alford's Tire Brake and Alignment puts the entire family name behind making sure you stay stress-free on the road year-round. You'll find tire replacements for all size tires, even lawn mowers. Lift kits and auto accessories are installed right there. And in some cases, while you wait, Alford's Tire Brake and Alignment, Highway 69, 4 miles south of I-20 in Tyler. AlfordsBrakeandAlignment.com.
Hey, Doc Deason here, Lindale class of 1990 with Real Edge Real Estate in Tyler. You can find me online at DocDeasonRealEstate.com. You know, after this summer, anything associated with fall is going to be welcome throughout the season, especially Lindale High School football. It's an honor for me to again partner with my friend of 30 years, your play-by-play man, Kenny Smith. There's nothing in this country quite like Texas high school football, and you need to know we're partaking in a legendary pastime right now. But when the game's over, if you need some help with real estate, give me a shout. Don't hesitate. 903-262-8680. That's 262-8680. Again, I'm fellow Eagle Doc Deason. Thanks for listening.
Back at Bulldogs Stadium, where everybody is worn out tonight, especially the Lindale defense, as they had to somehow figure out a way to contain the unbelievable amount of speed that came across their defense tonight. It didn't matter whether it came to McGregor, Tyson Berry especially, Brisbane. It was a crazy game. 79-45, Chapel Hill over Lindale tonight. And Alan, you just said it, and it was a huge mouthful or something. None of us probably would have imagined that this defense would have, first of all, given up 79 points, but it wasn't just the giving up of the 79 points. It's trying to match up with 5, 6, or 7 players that you just cannot tackle. It wasn't like it was the 1 or 2 backs last week against Kilgore.
No, I've never seen so much speed on one football team. You know, and
you've been coaching how long?
32, 33,
yeah.
You know, a long time. And, you know, and I'm going to say that the advent of the spread offense and the ability of quarterbacks to run and throw and get the ball on the perimeter quickly, man, it was made for teams like this that have this much speed, you know. And unfortunately, Lindale very much fundamental team, which is a very good fundamental team. But the speed factor, it doesn't matter how good you are. If you can't match speed with them, sometimes you just can't stop them.
Yeah.
And that's what happened to Lindale tonight. They would be in spots, and I thought they were going to make the tackle, and the guy would make a little move, and boom, they were off the races. And that's – as a coach, you know, you don't know what to say. You harp on your kids, do this, this, and this will be successful, and you're trying to get to that spot, but then things are happening that you can't control, which has to do with the speed of another team.
Okay, and you mentioned something specifically that is one of those things that as a coach you have to pull away from your coaching duties when it comes to the aftermath of a game like this. You got to turn into a friend. You got to turn into a parent, and you've got to get on the bus. You got to get in the field house first of all, get everybody dressed, get them something to eat, and then you got to get them to take a breath, and then you got to talk to them.
Well, when I lost my train of thought ago, I was watching Coach Roselle, and that's what I was trying to tell you. After one of those where they'd stopped them and then they'd ran, and Jake Kerbel came over and he just sort of put his arm around him and was talking to him. Because at that point, you got to reassure these kids that you still love them, not that that they got his they're getting they're getting beat by the scoreboard. They're still playing hard. They're getting after it, and you got to maintain the relationship with the kids. And unfortunately, you run into some coaches who can't do that.
Sure,
they are so. And don't get me wrong, every coach wants to win, but coaches have to realize there's
sometimes
more.
You got to turn it off. Don't you?
Sometimes there's a lot more to this game. And I'm gonna tell you the best thing that'll help you learn that is have your own kids.
Yeah.
When you have your own kids, it teaches you to have a little bit more humility and a little bit more passion.
Sure.
And like I said, I'll go down to saying this. I love this coaching staff. I've seen them how they talk to their kids. They'll get on their rear, but I've seen them love on them. And this is one of those times when they're going to go home and they're all the whole Lindale football team is licking their wounds.
Sure.
And the coaches are going to have to reassure them that, hey, we still love you. We're still in this. All you just do is keep playing. Just keep getting after it.
And they know that they just played one of the best teams at this level. Exactly.
Two teams.
Yeah.
They
back
had
to back.
And they pulled a rough schedule because they had Kilgore and then they had Chapel Hill.
That darn District of Doom thing,
I'm telling you what,
Yeah.
I thought Kilgore might have been the best team I've seen. Kilgore was good, don't get me wrong.
Sure.
And in the long run, they might be the better team because of their size. But Chapel Hill, I've never seen that much speed.
Yeah, this will be the whole thing that sets up the last week of the season when Chapel Hill and Kilgore battle. I think right here. I think they're going to be right here.
Well,
Chapel Hill.
I'd made the comment, if Lindale could have beat Chapel Hill tonight and then Chapel Hill beat Kilgore and everybody else wins out, that would have been a three-way tie.
Oh, sure.
So now, what Lindale has to do, they have 2 games left, and what they have to make sure they do is don't let, in fact, we're looking at
yeah, checking that schedule, and I was wrong about that.
Yeah,
they're
going
at
Kilgore.
Henderson. They're coming home against Athens. Then it'll be Chapel Hill and Kilgore, the last game of the season.
What Lindale can't do is let these last 2 games slip up on them because, right now they're playing for third, and again, I'll say this. When you look at the 2 districts that play each other in the playoffs, number 1 plays number 4,
Sure.
number 2 plays 3, and so forth. And so you don't want to be that 4th-place team playing that 1st-place team.
Sure.
And even though in a lot of districts they're better than a lot of teams in other districts. It's just that this dadgum district's pretty good.
All right, well, we thought last week was going to be it for Stewart. He was going to work the game and figure the numbers are going to be crazy. And then we grew a week. we come to Chapel Hill, and it's a 79-45 game. So
let me see your hand here.
Stuart's
You're from Ryan.
I know.
Can you believe it? I've gone through 2 erasers.
Yeah, I was going to say, because he wasn't joking last week. I said, I got 3 pencils. And he's like, oh, we don't need pencils. We need erasers. Yeah, this week it's worse, too. Let's look at the numbers, Stuart.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and I'll do some quick comparisons on here.
Yeah, do it really quick, will you?
I will do it very quick. Okay, Chapel Hill only had 44 plays from scrimmage, while Lindale had 83 plays from scrimmage, almost double. Total Lindale had 499 yards, 306 on the ground, 193 in the air. And Chapel Hill had 461 total yards, and they only had 12 yards in the air. So he was 1 for 4 with his completions. So let me go ahead and give you some quick rundowns on the numbers here. Devin Daniels, 11 carries for 78 yards. Patrick Daniels, 15 carries for 68 yards. Clint Thurman, 24 carries, 154 yards, and he had 2 touchdowns. Marcus Fields had carry for 6 yards. Clint Thurman throwing the ball. Today he was 16 for 33. I think last week he had almost 400 yards. This time he had 193, 4 touchdowns, and an INT. As for the receivers, Marcus Fields, 6 catches, 95 yards and 2 touchdowns. Patrick Daniels, 2 catches for 29 and a touchdown. Alex Romero, 5 catches for 68. And then Carson Plunkett, 1 catch. 2 yards and a touchdown. The big difference was with Chapel Hill. They had the 2 kickoff returns by Tyson Berry. One was for 90, one was for 95 yards. He only carried the ball 6 times from the line of scrimmage. He got 79 yards and 4 touchdowns. Phenomenal.
Crazy night.
Yeah, Ricky Stewart's 13 carries, 186 yards and a touchdown. Demetrius, I can never pronounce it. Brisbane, 13 carries, 164 yards and 2 touchdowns. And then Alonzo McGregor had 3 runs, 73 yards and a touchdown. So when it all boils down to the passing, they didn't need it.
Yeah.
They just ran that ball. So Brisbane, 1 pass or 1 catch on 4 passes, 12 yards, and an interception.
All right, crazy offensive output. Alan Phillips, good job tonight. Stuart, good job with the calculator. Thank God your daughter came through for you. You got your apple pie, Alan?
Hey, yeah, he's going to be gone next week, so he didn't
Oh, that's right. Stuart Campion will be gone next week. We got substitute stat guy as Dusty Swope will come in. He won't need your jacket because he's a lot smaller, so he won't have to borrow your clothing.
Are you making fun of me?
Yeah, absolutely.
Smaller?
Anytime we can. You betcha.
We'll give you a week off because of how much you had to write tonight.
Yep. Be careful going out of town, okay?
Cramps.
Yep.
All right.
Dusty Swope and Alan Phillips in the press box coming up next week because we will be back at home. It'll be Palestine Wildcats. Coach Lance Angel and one of the most popular coaches anywhere around the state and good guy. It'll be friend against friend next weekend at Eagle Stadium where we will be back with Lindale Eagle football. Join us then. It is a huge offensive output, 79-45 win for Chapel Hill tonight. Until next Friday night, thank you so much for being a part of our broadcast. Thank you to all of our sponsors and everybody there at home listening as well. Good night from Bulldog Stadium.
Tonight's broadcast of Lindale Eagles football is brought to you by Rose City Air, Ironworks Web Design, Alford's Tire, Brisket Love Barbecue and Ice House, Root Construction, Eagle Chiropractic, Beeler Roofing, Marucci Elite East Texas, The Office Barn, and Doc Deason Real Edge Real Estate. Copies of tonight's game broadcast at onthecall.net. And all 2022 season games can be purchased from onthecall.net at any time the day after each game. OnTheCall.net and its supporters encourage all fans to make every opportunity to become involved in any child's education, enrichment, or any extracurricular activity they have a passion for. Thank you for joining us for Lindale Eagle football with OnTheCall.net. Streaming East Texas high school sports, one game at a time.